double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Mariners' playoff odds right now. This is an article I read last night from, so the numbers are from ESPN, their analytics department. 95% odds to make the playoffs. Today, 95% chance to make the playoffs. Bump, you feel comfortable with that?
I mean, I like looking at that number.
But do you feel, if I said bet $100 today the Mariners make the playoffs, would you do it?
I probably would.
But you'd be a little...
Yeah. I'd be nervous, but I probably would do that. But I also realize the task that is ahead, and that is going on the road and trying to come back with as many wins as possible. They are 34-41 on the road. If you're looking at just division leaders right in the West, they're 7 games under when it comes to on the road. You look at Detroit in the AL Central, they're 3 over. Toronto is 1 over. You go to the NL, you got Philly, who's 2 over. Milwaukee, who's 9 over, and the Dodgers, who are 3 under. So there are only a couple teams that are division leaders with losing records on the road, but it's not like it's a big disparity. Right? You can look at Milwaukee; they're just a juggernaut. They've been doing their thing all year. But no, it's because of that, and it's because of the way the pitching has performed on the road. I mentioned earlier that Julio plays better on the road. Cal is good on the road. Randy is good on the road. Can Polanco bring his golf bag and play a different course on the road and do his thing? We'll see. But no, I don't feel completely confident. You got to look at history, and you got to look at the long history, and then just the short term of what they've been this year on the road. But there was a time, once upon a time this year, where they were one of the better teams on the road. The key is, how do you tap back into that?
Curious to see if you guys feel comfortable. You can text in 866-979-3776. 95% chance. Matt, do you feel comfortable with that? Would you bet on that?
Boy,
you're hesitating. You're hesitating too long. Curtis, would you bet on that? Do you feel comfortable with that? 95% chance.
I mean, yes, the odds have never been more in your favor as of late, but also it's the Mariners.
Okay, well, let's dig into that. But this is what I want to do here. This is what I want this segment to be.
There's a lot of scar tissue.
Let's dig into that a little bit more. Is it just the scar tissue? Is it just the history? Is it just the having been hurt
for me
before?
It is.
For you, it is?
Yeah.
Bump, what is it for you?
It's both. I mean, but I take a team for who they've been as of late. Let's break it down for a month. Last month, they ain't been good on the road. So until you prove that you aren't that, I'm going to have a feeling that that version of you is lingering. You know, it's like when you're in a relationship and your person asks you to change something, work on this, and you do it for like a week or two, and then you get right back into your old habits. I just need to see it, because I think you're going to get back into your old habits. Until I see you do exactly what you're supposed to do on the road, there's always going to be that piece of me when I see something go wrong, think, is this it?
So you're telling the Mariners, wash your dish.
Wash your dish.
It's been there for 6 hours.
Exactly.
You had that spaghetti 2 days ago, Mariners.
Wash it. Put it away.
Wash it.
Put it in the dishwasher.
More than 1 week after.
Exactly. That's what I need to see.
Okay. Wondering how you guys feel again. 866-979-3776. Christian the 206 says, I'm taking that bet for show.
For sure. I mean, the chances are they're going to make the playoffs.
I'm taking it.
Yeah, I said I'd take it too, but you're not taking it confidently, slapping it on the table. Bam, I'll be back for my winnings. Here you go, sir.
I am nervous. I can't find a lot of baseball reasons not to bet on the Mariners. That's where I kind of end up putting the money on the table. I cannot find a lot of baseball reasons to not believe in the Mariners. I can find a lot of, oh my God, is this franchise cursed reasons that I've felt my whole life, right? Not a lot of baseball reasons. And again, the road record, need I remind you, yes, the last 2 road trips were awful. God awful. 31-30 on August 15th on the road. they would have been one of those 7 teams over 500.
That was a long time ago. How many games been played since then? How many road games?
Well, it's exactly
That's
a
lot
month.
of math.
It's been exactly a month, and let's say 16 road games-ish.
16. How many have they won out of those?
2, 3, 4.
That's why I put the $100 down.
No, I get it.
And I say a prayer as I slide it over to the cashier.
I get it. I will let you know the text line's on your side on this one. And Curtis, the vast majority of people saying, "Look, I don't feel really comfortable about this because I've just seen a lot of pain, felt a lot of pain, and maybe it's because this is the closest race. This is the race that, without a doubt, I think most people in baseball think will be settled last.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come down to the wire, and there is not a lot separating you from not only like being in the division or in the wild card spot, but from being out of the playoffs."
Look, this is what scares me. Luis Castillo, home ERA, 2.7.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, 2.4. Logan, 2.1. George, 3.3. Let's get it, boys. On the road.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, 3.5. Not too bad. Castillo, 5.09. Kirby, 5.7. Logan, 5.2.
Not great.
Bryce Miller, 5.5. The numbers are there, people. The numbers are there, but that doesn't mean that they can't go on a heater and change some things. It's funny that we're sitting here, and my main concern is supposed to be the strength of this team. My main concern is, can these guys dig deep and focus? Can Cal call a dang near perfect game for whoever's on the mound, set these guys up, put them in a comfort zone to where they can just throw the ball freely and do what they have to do on the road? That is my only concern. I'm not worried about the bats. I think there's too much power in this lineup to where I don't think everyone's going to go cold. Someone's going to find themselves in a moment and come through when you need to keep this thing close. My concern are just the guys on the mound. They got to figure it out.
I will say a couple people saying, "Hey, I'm putting that." Someone said, "I'm putting 100 down plus another 20 to the Etsy witch."
There you go. It's working.
Absolutely agree. I think that I ask because I found myself kind of doing this exercise in my head last night when I was going through the odds, and I was looking at it going, "Man, this is actually a little more than I thought. 95% odds to make the playoffs, nearly 70% chance to win the division. Game up, really?" ESPN feels that confident. I know that there are limitations to what they're able to predict, and I don't think if you went to the average, just go to like any MLB analyst and go, who's going to win the West? They're going to go, right now I'd say the Mariners, but I'm not sure. That doesn't sound like 70%. So that's not really reflecting what the model is telling you. So the eye test is not quite as confident in the Mariners and hasn't quite written off as much the Astros as has the model.
It's the West, man. It's the AL in general. It's been like this all year. So let's toughen up. Let's buckle down. Cal, go ahead and hit a couple bombs. Let's get that over with.
Again, I guess I might be with Mike Salk on this one. I'm not convinced that I think those 2 road trips have done so much damage to the narrative that we actually right now on September 16th think that this team has been bad on the road all year long, and that's not the case.
I don't think that. I'm not saying that's the
I know
case.
you don't think that. I'm saying that I think that's what the narrative is people being like, the Mariners can't win on the road. I was listening to this morning a podcast talking about the Astros, and they were asking, are the Astros more likely to win the division or be out of the playoffs? And the reporter said, more likely to win the division because the Mariners struggle on the road. And I said, that's been true for 2 road trips. But that's a narrative that exists.
That's the narrative that is true right now.
Well, that they've watered for 2 trips.
Right now, that's the truth. We can go back to August and say, see, they were good then. All right. But that's not who they are right now. Not on September 16th. They got to prove it. That is the narrative. All right, so if we want to switch the narrative, say, the last month they've been bad on the road. But I don't look back into August and July and June and start digging through stuff to support who they are now. No, I'm going to go back about a week or 2 and say, all right, let's just see what they've done in the past, and I'm going to roll with that. But you are right. There were times where they were just killing it on the road. They were winning series in a row. Well, they won 9 series in a row, I think, at one point during the season. But things changed, man. Just like the weather. The weather is getting cold now too, man. You know, when they were good on the road, it was hot. You know, things changed.
Okay, so you got 6 on the road. Here's your final trip. What record makes you happy? What record makes you put that 100 down?
4-2.
4-2?
Yeah.
And then you're feeling like, you know
I'm
what? Because at that point, you've taken the series against, presumably, unless you sweep Houston as well.
You go 4-2, I'm feeling real good about the situation. Real good.
Okay. Well, it starts today. Not even tonight. I was going to say tonight. It starts today, 3:30 p.m. pregame, 4:40 p.m. first pitch on Seattle Sports. Had to check my notes for a minute there. The Seahawks defense is doing something no one else is doing. That's coming up next on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The one and only Mark Schlereth. Every Monday at 4 during the NFL season with Wyman and Bob.
They did it in a fairly dominant fashion out there in Pittsburgh. How surprising is that to you?
You saw some growth, right? You saw a little bit better offense, a little bit better, both combination of running the ball and tying your play action in together on that stuff. So those things to me were good.
Get every can't-miss conversation on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
The insurance world, it can be confusing. So have First Mark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free First Mark Challenge. They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Do you have a car you want to sell, but you just don't want to go through all the hassle? With all the scams and security risks out there, more and more people just aren't comfortable selling their own car. So how do you get the most money for your used car without having to sell it yourself? Stacy here with the answer. It's Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your car and pay you right up front for it, but it gets way better. Once they resell your old car, they share half that profit with you. The question I get most from friends and colleagues is, well, what's the catch? How can they offer this? It's actually super simple. All the money they save by not traveling to buy cars at auctions, like purchase fees, shipping, and travel expenses, is what allows them to offer this. They'd rather share that money they save with you rather than outside vendors. They encourage you to shop around, but look, if Wayscar Ford can pay the same or more as competitors and then share half their profit with you once they resell your car, why would you sell your car anywhere else? They've already shared over $800,000 with their customers, and it's only at Wayscar Ford. WayscarFord.com. Check them out today, WayscarFord.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
The ballpark is rocking like 2001. Let us clear up your allergies so you can enjoy more of each game. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Do you need a new roof? Then visit 3treeroofing.com to get $500 off your roofing project by scheduling a free estimate. 3Tree Roofing's certified team builds a custom plan for your home using top-tier materials with industry-leading warranties. All of their install crews are factory certified to ensure that your roof can handle any weather Seattle can throw our way. Don't wait until leaks turn into expensive damage this rainy season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today and secure your $500 discount. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. With over 30 years of experience, Big Trees provides trees of all sizes for residential and commercial projects. Our 30-acre nursery features thousands of trees and hundreds of varieties that thrive in our Pacific Northwest climate. For hours, directions, and to see our wide selection of trees, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm fortunate to speak with someone who underwent treatment for prostate cancer in February. Dave Wyman here, joined by Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host. Tim, how did you hear about Swedish Cyberknife?
Well, it was this familiar-sounding voice on the radio telling me about it, and so I thought I'd investigate that. Everything I heard was what I wanted to hear, and so I reached out.
What's it like to go through the Cyberknife treatment?
Well, you go in, you do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital, and it's, they say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It's just a matter of listening to music in headphones and trying your best not to move.
Looking back on your Swedish Cyberknife experience, what stood out?
It was too easy. It was just too easy. I went through it, and I just went, that's it?
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You spent the entire, well, not the entire break, but the last 2 minutes talking about what animal, any animal on the entire planet, if you could own it as a pet and it would never attack you or hurt you or run away or anything. It's like a real domesticated pet. What would you choose? Bump and I had normal answers. Bump said a wolf, and I said a tiger, so I could feel like Princess Jasmine. And Matt, you said a whale. And that one caught me off guard. I'm not going to lie.
I really like whales. I
that
think
one,
cool.
That one was right out of left field.
But you can't even really.
Flex that would be.
You can't really hang out with a whale, though.
What are you going to do?
You scuba
if it was
dive?
tame,
you could
like ride it through the sea.
But you can't really because it'll go maybe 10 feet below before your ears start to hurt.
Scuba gear.
Mm-mm.
No,
I think you made a bad choice. Yeah, bro. That whale's going to kill you.
I'm sorry that I didn't consider the pressure of the ocean when answering your hypothetical for fun question.
Well,
I just like whales, and I think it'd be fun.
You know what? I think that's neat and awesome. Just an interesting choice. The Seahawks defense is doing something no one else is doing. This is from Ben Fennell. He said the Seahawks are leading the NFL with a 49.4% pressure rate. That from Next Gen Stats. He said Seattle's using 4-man rushes 83.1% of the time and blitzing at a 31st rate, 13%. The only team blitzing less than that is Cincinnati. They are getting a lot of pressure while blitzing 31st most, second least in the league.
I will go least. That sounds better.
Second least. Okay, so they are blitzing less than any other team except for the Bengals, and they are getting the most pressure. How are they doing it?
They got some dogs up there. You got Leo, like I mentioned yesterday, throwing 300-pound men to the ground. You have DeMarcus Lawrence in the mix. You got Boye Mafe providing pressure. You got Derek Hall. You got Jay Reed. You got Byron Murphy. You got Uchenna, who came back as well. And even with that, they don't blitz a lot. 8 blitzes is how many they've done so far this year.
Crazy.
And they're 4th when it comes to takeaways. They are 1st when it comes to quarterback hurries and 17.9%. They are creating chaos just with 4 guys. And what that allows you to do to drop 7 and get eyes on the quarterback or get eyes in the backfield and allow your tacklers, your linebackers to react. So, no, I think that's just personnel because there's not a lot of stunts that they do on this defensive line, at least not 2 weeks into the season. So a stunt, for example, is when your end wraps around and then your tackle wraps around the other way and you try to cross up the guards and the tackles to confuse them. They're not even doing a lot of those. They're just playing gap football. Mm-hmm. I got the A gap. I'm going to control this gap. I got the B. You got the C. Let's go get after this quarterback. So it's more of a personnel type of thing. I don't think it's much that Mike Macdonald is dialing up at this point. He's not blitzing a lot anyway. When he was with the Baltimore Ravens, he didn't blitz a lot. But he did do some stunts or whatnot. And I think that there's still room for this defense to grow when it comes to that. Mike Macdonald isn't running a lot of his stuff because he doesn't have to. That's the best thing as a coordinator. Even on the offensive side, I used to come in with all these plays in this game plan and didn't have to run half of my stuff because my guys were just dominating. I think that's where Mike Macdonald is right now. I don't have to run a lot of my exotic stuff because we're playing with so much integrity in that box and so much efficiency that we're able to collapse the pocket. So what are they doing? They are just physically manhandling these guys. They are a good defensive unit in that box.
Who are the guys kind of leading the charge to you? Like when you watch the tape and maybe look specifically at the defense, are there a couple names that stand out where you go, these guys are making this go?
It's Leo and Byron right now. And it's important that it's the interior guys because they're not going to get a lot of stats unless Leo has 11 and a half sacks like he had last year.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, them just getting in the backfield is going to do a couple of things. One is going to get into the throwing lane of the quarterback is not going to be able to follow through or see what's going on. Two is going to make the quarterback try to escape outside. Guess who's waiting for you outside? Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, and the rest of the game. It's Chinna Nwosu. It's all connected. You get pressure up the gut, you try to escape. You get pressure on the outside, the quarterback tries to run up the gut. If you have gap integrity in your A's and your B's, then you should be able to get the quarterback. What I would like to see more, though, just more sacks. I think I only have, 4 sacks on the year. I believe that's the leader. Actually, the Saints have like 8 or 9 sacks. They're first or second in the game when it comes to that. So just creating more sacks, but they are creating pressures in quarterback hits. And sometimes that's just as good as a sack because you're forcing the quarterback to make poor decisions.
Speaking of looking up a couple defensive stats, because I was doing the same. I was trying to find some for the Saints heading into this week because I was like, I feel like I know about the offense, but maybe not the defense. There's a category for which Seattle is tied for second in the league. Can you guess the defensive category?
Tied for second.
Tied for second. And again, keep in mind it's only been 2 weeks, so this is going to be maybe a slightly smaller number.
Could be hits. Takeaways.
Interceptions.
Yeah.
Guess the team.
That's not only takeaways or interceptions.
Yeah. Guess the team tied for second with them. You will not. I'll give you 5 guesses. You're not going to guess
I saw it. I should know it. I was looking it up earlier today. Boom, 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 boom. Dang.
5 teams. Rattle off 5.
The Bengals.
Dang it.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be more fun. This was supposed to be funner.
I saw it.
Very disappointing. Yeah, the number 1 team is the Jags.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Just the stats to start the year are so weird because you have the tiniest sample size. You pointed out yesterday, currently leading the league in total passing yards, Russell Wilson. Second, Daniel Jones. Leading the league in interceptions, Jacksonville. Second, Seattle. You'd kind of expect that. And like you said, Cincinnati. Leading the league in yards per pass attempt, Geno Smith right now. I don't know if that's been altered a little bit from last night's game because Jordan Love is pretty high there too. So it might be now Love ahead, which makes a bit more sense. But it's been
Sam's up there too. He's like 7.3. He's like top 6 or 8 when it comes to that.
It's been a really fascinating start to the season. I've really enjoyed 2 weeks of football so far.
Yeah, it's been good. That's the randomness of the first 4 weeks of the NFL. You got the Jags up there with some great numbers. You got the Bengals up there. Danny Dimes, number 2 in the game when it comes to throwing the rock. Russell Wilson. But eventually, the elite will rise to the top because it's a game of consistency. Yes, you're only playing 17. It's not 162 like baseball, but it starts to level itself out. But it's fun at the beginning of the year to see some of this because every now and then there is a team that you don't expect to put up great numbers, and they just put up those numbers.
Yeah.
You know, the fun part is guessing who's going to fall and who's going to rise. There are some things that be true every single year, and there are some wild cards. So this is when the potential wild cards are making noise, and I think that is good for the game. It's good for us. It's good for fans. I like it.
Yeah, the contenders-pretenders conversation applies to whole teams, but sometimes it applies to something I'm sure we'll ask Dan Graziano coming up in 15. Like, hey, the Cowboys have been kind of interesting through 2 weeks, putting up way more points than we expected. Is this maybe as a team not great, but like could the offense be pretty elite? Right. Conversely, you've seen a team like the Chiefs, who we all think of as like an absolute powerhouse, start the season 0-2, but the Chargers now is the favorite to win the AFC West. Is there cause for concern? Is that a real concern, or is it all an overreaction? Also, hey, the NFC West is 7-1 through 2 weeks, so how tight could this race be all year long? A lot to talk about with ESPN's Dan Graziano on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
They're baseball's hottest team.
Cal Raleigh will score. Here comes Julio. He's racing home around third. He's going to score standing. 2 more on the board for the Mariners.
Winners of 9 in a row.
Strike 3 called. Got him. Fire. George Kirby, strikeout number 13.
Up next, the first of 3 in Kansas City. Tonight, first pitch at 4:40, pregame at 3:30.
Everybody on their feet.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
University of Maryland Global Campus offers more than 55 flexible online certificates that provide short-term credentials and real-world skills you can use immediately. With a range of affordable undergraduate and graduate certificates in high-demand fields like business, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, and healthcare, you can earn credentials quickly to help advance your career. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
The intent for the training is always to, of course, make a better experience for the customer. But from my position, I would say I'm most proud of watching our own people grow.
I think a lot of us really do want the opportunity. I will work my butt off for an opportunity.
I started cleaning cars. Now I have this great opportunity to be a president of one of the greatest auto organizations I feel there is. And it's not that I was smarter than anyone. It's just I was around great people and always wanted to learn. So for me, it's super fulfilling to be able to pass that along to people and see people with the same drive and want to make a great life for themselves, right? So that to me is training. That's gratifying for me.
When leaders focus on growing people, this is where leadership becomes service, and customers feel the difference. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, everything you need and nothing you don't.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
ESPN's Dan Graziano joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Dan, how's it going?
Oh, great. How are you guys today?
Fantastic. Much better talking about a Seahawks win. Mariners are in a good spot. Obviously going to focus on the rest of the NFL too here. And I want to start with the Seahawks, though I do want to get to a couple of overreactions from week 2. Seattle with a big win over the Steelers. Dan, heading into this one, I thought surely the Seahawks are going to need to score more than 30 to win. I did not think the Steelers wouldn't be pushing them a little bit more. Were you surprised by Pittsburgh showing in week 2?
I was, because it's 2 straight weeks where their defense hasn't looked good. And we feel like we accept as a given that Pittsburgh is a good defensive team all the time. Like, that's their whole history, right? The steel curtain and all that. But, maybe they're not. There's a lot of age on that side of the ball. They made a lot of changes. And they look like a team to me that's a little outmanned in some of their matchups on that side of the ball. So I was surprised because, they didn't look good against the Jets, although they squeaked out the win in week 1 with a 60-yard field goal. But, once could be an anomaly, but to give up 30-plus in their first 2 games, that's something the Steelers haven't done in 23 years. So it's alarming. But, yeah, I think Seattle's defense is probably very good, and their offense clicked obviously a lot more this week. I don't know whether that's because they did something better or the Steelers aren't together yet on defense or a little bit of both.
Dan, one of the big questions coming into the season was what's Sam Darnold going to look like, and should you have paid for Geno? Looking good after last night. Geno turned the ball over a bunch of times, and Sam Darnold bouncing back after 2 early interceptions. How do you view that situation as it stands week 2? I know it's early.
My understanding on Geno is that he didn't necessarily want to be there, right? He wanted to go with Pete in Seattle, and so he asked for something in the negotiation. Seattle wasn't willing. I said Seattle, I meant Vegas. Seattle wasn't willing to go there, and so he told them, I'll just play it out, and then he hit free agency. So they figured they should get something for him while they could. So I think their first choice was Geno, but the pivot to Darnold, look, he's coming off a monster year, but it's the 1 year. And so, the question remains, is the year he had in Minnesota who he is now, or was it because he was in Minnesota? And I think that's a question. It's probably too early to answer, but this week is certainly very encouraging. And, Seattle's a team that I think their philosophy on quarterback can probably be summed up by, sure, we would spend big money for someone special, but if the franchise-altering, game-changing, superstar is not available to us, which it rarely is, then who fits and what price point? So I think that's how they landed on Darnold. They felt like they were getting a nice deal on a guy that's still young and obviously coming off a great year where he threw 35 touchdown passes and led a team to 14 wins. So the commitment contractually is really 1 year if they want it to be. No guaranteed money after this year. So it's a low-risk, potentially high-reward move for them to go with Darnold, and I think the plan is to see where they are at the end of the season.
I know it's very, very early in the season, obviously, but you know as well as anyone, it's really hard not to overreact, right? You have your columns for ESPN. And I think one of my early takeaways is, hey, the NFC West is 7-1. And I know that those 4 teams have some of the easier slates in the NFL this season. But man, does it hurt to already have one loss and be in 4th place. I think it's going to be a really tight race, but what do you think about this division?
I agree with you. I think this division, these 4 teams, I think could finish in any order, and I don't think I would characterize it as a surprise.
Yeah.
That it is a very interesting division. I like the 49ers a lot because of their pedigree, because of their schedule. I believe they have, based on people's records last year, they have the easiest one, right?
Yeah.
So, and, they have guys that have played in Super Bowls. And if Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams are healthy, then that unlocks a lot for them. But they're super injured, other than those 2 guys. So, good for them for winning their first 2 games while dropping like flies. The Rams, always going to be a problem, but is Matthew Stafford's back going to hold up? And is that young defense ready to, the last time we saw that defense before this year, they were just sort of staring at Saquon Barkley while he ran past them. So have they tightened that up? And then Arizona, does anybody ever know what to make of Arizona?
I don't.
It's just like they should be good, but they're always just sort of a little short, or they fall apart in the second half. So 3rd year of the program there with Jonathan Gannon, with Drew Petzing at offensive coordinator. It's kind of time for it to work with Kyler Murray. And if it does, I think, that's credit to those guys. And if it doesn't, I wonder if they'll start to think about changes there. And then Seattle, I think with Mike McDonald, you can expect great defense. You can expect them to be able to scheme up pressures. And I think 2nd year in the scheme, they should be really good. So the question is, what do they have on offense? It looks like they're trying to figure out the run game. And they have a superstar in Jackson Smith and Jigba, and build the passing game around him and see who else can be a contributor.
Hey, stepping out of the NFC West, I want to take you to the AFC South. What's going on, man? The Indianapolis Colts, Danny Dimes, 2nd in the league right now when it comes to passing yards. They are 2-0. What do you like about the Colts, and do you think this is sustainable?
So the disclaimer is that if you go back exactly 1 year, after the 2nd week of last season, the hottest story in the league was the Saints offense. They scored like 90 points in their first 2 games, and who's going to stop this? And then they lost their next 7, and everybody got fired. So we don't know for sure, right? But I want to believe that what's going on in Indianapolis is sustainable, because I think the structure around Daniel Jones is really strong. And we saw in 2022, when he was with the Giants, he stayed healthy all year. So did Saquon Barkley. They led that team to the playoffs. And I think you could make the case that team had less going for it on the roster than this Indianapolis team does. Jonathan Taylor is the Saquon Barkley in this equation. He looks like he's playing at a very high level again. They have a good offensive line. They have good receivers. Their defense has a lot of good players on it. So Daniel Jones is in a situation with the head coach, Shane Steichen, who's designing an offense that plays to his strengths and minimizes his weaknesses, and that's the trick, I think, with these quarterbacks. When you talk about the vast majority of NFL quarterbacks are not Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, you've got to win with somebody who's got some good qualities but isn't going to, be the guy that overcomes all the bad stuff that happens to you. You got to make sure to minimize the bad stuff. Daniel Jones has some talent. He can run. He can throw. There's things he can do if you make sure that the circumstances around him are right. And it looks like Shane Steichen and the Colts coaching staff is doing that. The other issue with Daniel Jones has always been, can he stay healthy? And so that's going to hang over it as long as, as long as they're going like this. But if he stays healthy, I do think there's a strong chance it's sustainable. I think that's a team that could win its division. And now, they're 2-0 and Houston's 0-2, so they got a little bit of a head start.
Speaking of surprising 2-0 and 0-2 teams, the Chiefs being one of those. Now, for your overreaction column, deciding whether or not something's an overreaction for ESPN, you said the Chiefs have played the past 3 Super Bowls, so forgive me if I need to see them mathematically eliminated before I buy that they can't get to the next one. And I absolutely agree. That being said, I am curious, Dan, when do you kind of
maybe hover over the worry meter? Like, what are you going to need to see before you go, okay, they need to turn this around?
I think if they have all their wide receivers on the field and they're still not looking good on offense, then I think you can worry. But Xavier Worthy is an important piece for them, and he's hurt. Does he come back this week? Does he come back next week? We don't know. Rasheed Rice is an important piece for them. He's suspended for the first 6 games of the season. We know exactly when he's coming back. But are they going to be 0-6 when he comes back? Then I think you have license to worry. But if they can stay afloat, I mean, they have the Giants this week. They should probably handle them. If they can stay afloat until those guys are back, and then I think you can see, the offense work the way they want it to. But until then, you have Patrick Mahomes throwing to receivers that he doesn't really have much timing down with or a whole lot of trust in, because he doesn't have the experience throwing to them that he does with these other guys. Like, he's throwing to Xavier Worthy and Rasheed Rice all through training camp. So if there's a timing route and all of a sudden it's Tyquan Thornton, that timing might not be there. And I think we've seen that a few times. So defense is playing well. If Travis Kelce catches a ball at their goal line that hit him in the hands, right, like that, then maybe it's a different story. Maybe they're 1-1 and they just beat the Super Bowl champs. So they're not a disaster, but you would like to see something more interesting and explosive on offense. And I wonder if we just have to wait till they're healthy and whole again in order to see that.
Hey, bringing it back to Seattle, we've been the defense had a lot of high expectations coming into this season, and they haven't been disappointed so far. They're first when it comes to QB pressures, first with the QB knockdowns, and they're doing this while only blitzing 8 times in 2 weeks. How good do you think this defense can be, and what's the potential of this defensive line specifically?
I think the defense can be elite, and a large part of my reason for believing that is I think the coach is elite in terms of he's relatively new head coach and he's young, but he can coach some defense. And if you think about where he's been in Baltimore, University of Michigan, and you see what's still going on in places like that, right? The University of Michigan wins the national championship with Jesse Minter after Mike McDonald had left a couple of years earlier to go back to Baltimore. Like, this system, if you can call it and you can design it and you can get the players to buy in, now all of a sudden you're able to scheme up pressures without blitzing. You're able to disguise your pressures, and it works. It's working with the Chargers. It's working, still in Baltimore. It's working still at Michigan. So I think that Mike McDonald, if he's a successful head coach, I think he could be the kind of guy we look back on and say he had a major impact on how the game is played, because this style of defense, it will become more popular. But I do believe he's elite at coaching it and calling it. So I think this defense, the sky is the limit.
Kind of a wide open question for you on this one. A lot of the teams you expect to be good this year so far are good, vice versa for teams that are bad. But there are some teams that have just been more fun to watch than others this year. Is there a team in particular where you go, man, I make it a point to tune in for as much of this as I can?
Well, let's see. The game I covered Sunday was Giants-Cowboys, which went completely off the rails in the fourth quarter and was a lot of fun. I think that Cowboys offense is a lot of fun to watch. And unfortunately for them, I think their defense is going to probably make the opposing offense fun to watch when they play them. So I think that, by definition, I think they're going to play very entertaining games. But Dak Prescott's operating at a high level, and with those 2 wide receivers, and they might have found something in Javonte Williams, the running back. I think that's an interesting team. But there's nobody playing better than the Packers, I don't think, through 2 weeks. Both sides of the ball. The Micah Parsons trade, I think, has unlocked some. I think they were already going to be a very good team, but I think Micah unlocks some things, allows them to do different things in coverage, allows the offense to operate on a more aggressive level. You see Matt LaFleur kind of in his bag in terms of scheming up and calling explosive plays down the field. They're not as worried about turning the ball over because of the faith they have in their defense. It's a second year in the scheme under Jeff Hafley, the D coordinator. They add an elite edge rusher, one of the best, if not the best in the league, who's not even fully up to speed in terms of his snap counts yet. They are full steam ahead. So they are a lot of fun to watch. I think they're probably miserable to play against right now.
I'm just want to add a quick, we got to let you go, but adding a quick follow-up here. My co-host, when you mentioned Jordan Love and the Packers, I immediately thought we were power ranking NFC quarterbacks entering the season. I did not have Jordan Love as number one, but Michael Bumpus, who knows a lot more about football than I do and has played it, unlike me, did say that by year's end, he could see that there's an argument for Jordan Love as a top quarterback in the NFC. What do you think about that take?
Yeah, I agree. I think when you look at the talent, I think it's there. When you look at the circumstances and the situation, I think he's got a high-level offensive play caller in Matt LaFleur. He's got, receiver. I think they have like this collection of number two receivers, right? They're all good, but like there's no right. Jamar Chase. But it works, and they're running it through the tight end right now, who looks like he's about to have a monster year. So last year Jordan Love was not healthy. He got hurt in the season opener in Brazil against the Eagles, and he came back, and I don't think he was full strength for quite a while. So we are now seeing a healthy Jordan Love, and you go back a couple of years, his first year as a starter, 2023, second half of that season, he was one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFC and got them pretty deep in the playoffs. So I think a healthy Jordan Love with the experience he now has, with the group around him, with this defense, you're talking about a guy that I think we will be discussing at some point this season, and maybe at the end of it, where he belongs in the MVP conversation.
Good stuff from NFL Insider for ESPN, Dan Graziano. Dan, you've been very gracious with your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Have a good one. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's a signing you like by the Seahawks, and what does it mean?
So the Seahawks are bringing back a familiar name. Trey Brown is back on this team. And I like Trey Brown. He was a nice corner for the Seahawks for a little bit. Battled some injuries or whatnot. But what this says is they're not sure about the depth at the corner spot. I don't know if they're going to put him on P-Squad for a little bit, let him kind of do his thing there. But right now you got Josh Jobe, Nehemiah Pritchett, Reek Woolen, Shaq Griffin, who are your corner spots. So what does this mean? Are they thinking about moving a guy? Is Nehemiah going to be the guy that they're looking at? Is it going to be Shaq, who was on the practice squad, who was elevated for this game? I don't know. But I like the move because this is a position that's been a little shaky for you as far as availability. Guys have made plays. Reek made a play last week. Josh Jobe has been good all year. Shaq didn't get thrown at. He didn't get a chance. Nehemiah's been okay on special teams. But I like bringing back a guy you are familiar with, Trey Brown. So good signing, but it does make you look at that DB room and wonder who's the guy that they're going to move, or is this just for practice squad purposes because Shaq has been elevated?
Second down. Gino, when the Raiders took on the Chargers last night, what was your evaluation of Gino?
Oh, man, he was all jacked up. He missed Bowers on a double move in the end zone that could have tied the game or taken a lead. He didn't lead a receiver on a crossing route that could have got some yards. He missed Myers on the sail route. He threw an interception in the red zone. This was a typical bad Gino type of day. 3 interceptions. First play of the game was an interception for Gino. But I also want to tip my cap to the Chargers, man. I think a lot of it had to do with what the Chargers were doing. They're playing a nice Tampa 2, 2 high safety, and then you drop. The way they run typical Tampa 2 is you have a 2 high safety, and then your Mike linebacker drops into the middle of the field and kind of creates a triangle with your safeties. What the Chargers were doing, they were starting with 3 high, then rotating a safety down into that kind of robber spy look and having the corner be the other half defender. And it was jacking up what Gino wants to do. So, no, not a very good game for Gino. For all the people who hated Gino, you were gloating last night. Yeah. Mike Salk was going in on Gino this morning. I texted him on the side, too, and said, I see you, dog. You're going in on him. But when you don't perform, you deserved that type of commentary. So we'll see how Gino bounces back, but not very good for Gino. I was rooting for Gino. I want to see him do well. I want to see Russell Wilson do well. If Drew Lock is somewhere else, I want to see him do well. I have love for every quarterback that suited up for the Seahawks who's still playing right now. But last night, not good for Gino. But I do think the Chargers are for real. I think they got some talent over there. I think Harbaugh has a system that works. I think offensively they are getting better. They were the better team than the Raiders. Raiders don't have enough options on the outside. Yeah,
I'll say I think I'm still hesitant to count the Chiefs out. They've just done too much. But I find an AFC West that is closer to be far more interesting than one where you just from week one go, well, the Chargers will win this, moving on. Or excuse me, the Chiefs will win this, moving on. Like it's more fun when the Chargers are good, or even when the Raiders are kind of a threat, right? Third down. What are you looking forward to seeing offensively this week against the Saints?
I'm looking to see what their approach is going to be. I talked about last week they made the adjustment by going to more inside zone. I'm watching the Niners film against the Saints, and they were able to get outside. And how were they able to do that? I think it was all because of that one tech, the guy that's over the center slightly inside. Against the Steelers, he was shooting it, getting in the backfield, and causing chaos. And they were running to the side of the one tech. Once they started to run away from the one tech towards the three technique, who's outside of the guard, got a bit more space, you were fine, you were good to go. But the Niners were able to do it going towards him. And it's because of the way that one tech was playing it. He's not shooting it. He's kind of like engaging and trying to read what's going on. And also they were able to seal the outside. So I want to see how they decide to attack this, because it has to be a part of who you are. You're not going to go away from that just because you didn't have success 1, maybe 2 weeks. But you're going to give it a go and try to keep these guys honest. The Saints also have a guy by the name of Carl Granderson, who is the weak side linebacker. He's going to walk up to the line of scrimmage and play outside. He is tied for first in the league when it comes to sacks, 3.5. How are you going to get after him? We look at the Saints and automatically we think they're a bad football team. You should be able to win this game. I do agree. You should win this game. But they do some things that might jack you up a bit. Like I mentioned, they're second in the league when it comes to sacks with 8. They have Carl Granderson, who is tied for first in the league when it comes to sacks with 3.5. And their defensive line isn't that bad. They aren't bad. And if you don't get better play out of your guard, your right guard, then they could show some problems on Sunday. But, again, I think they should win this ball game. But they got some guys over there, too.
4th down. Anything stand out in our conversation with Dan Graziano?
Yeah. He said the game that he enjoyed watching was the Cowboys-Giants game. And I enjoyed watching that one, too. But then it had me thinking of Malik Neighbors. I don't want Neighbors to be the next Terry McLaurin. Last year, he had Daniel Jones, DeVito, Locke, and Boyle throw him the football and still went for 1,204 yards. He needs consistency over there. And right now, we're still trying to figure out, is Russell Wilson going to be the guy? How soon before we see Jackson Dart? I look at Neighbors, and there's a lot of things has to go right for him to do what he does. And obviously, he balled out last week against the Cowboys. But he needs stability for his own sake. You got Brian Thomas with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You got stability in Trevor Lawrence, but then him and the head coach are going at it during the game. There are a couple good receivers that might be pushed to the side if they don't find stability here pretty soon. Malik Neighbors is one of those guys. So it's just looking towards the future and hoping the best for these young receivers because as soon as you stop producing, they'll kick you to the curb as if it's all your fault. And we know this is the most dependent position in football.
That's why they're divas.
That's why they're divas.
You can't blame them. I
Not
gotta
at all.
make the diva list happen. I keep forgetting to go to the craft store.
Oh, I jacked it up.
What?
Trey Brown signed with the Rams, not the Seahawks. False information.
Well, that's okay. I'm gonna
Hey, that was a penalty on first down.
You're behind the sticks.
Behind the sticks right
and
now.
it was holding. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to work it moving the chains here because I want to talk about what Dan said about the NFC West. NFC West is 7-1 to start the year. Bump, I find this both a byproduct of an easier slate of games. Keep in mind, the Cardinals and 49ers played the Saints in back-to-back weeks, right? The Rams had the Texans, who are 0-2 to start the season, put up a good fight against the Buccaneers. But look, you're taking on the AFC South as a division, so you're going to have some easier schedules. The only loss is coming to another NFC West team, that being Seattle's loss to San Francisco. What did you make of Dan Graziano saying, any way this division shakes out, I don't think I'd be surprised. I don't think I would be surprised to see any one of these 4 teams leading it.
I think that's legit 2 weeks in. I mean, the Cardinals have shown the Cardinals are the wild card. The Cardinals are the one is you really don't know who they're going to be and what you're going to get. With the Rams, you know, offensively, they're going to be fine. They have a good defensive box over there. With the San Francisco 49ers, you know, if they're healthy, they're fine. That's the knock with the Niners is that now you got Brock Purdy out, you got George Kittle out. Juwan played, but he was banged up. We'll see how long Christian McCaffrey lasts. And then with the Seahawks, it's all about the offense. What is this offense going to look like? I think it's wide open for 3. I think the Arizona Cardinals still got to show me a bit more before I buy in and believe.
It's hard for me not to look at the Panthers getting back into that game and go, man, if I were covering the Cardinals as a show, if the Cardinals were our team and we were talking about them here, I'd be going, you really let the Panthers get back into this. Like,
Yeah.
they were driving with a chance to win this game, and you had 39-year-old Calais Campbell with a game-ending sack of Bryce Young to win this one. But at one point, you were up, I think, 27-3 or 21-3. I can't remember exactly what it was, but they scored like 20-something unanswered. That would concern me.
The only thing real about the NFC South is Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield. I believe in Baker.
I saw someone say, God, what was it? It might have been Big Cat with, pardon my take, but I saw someone tweet something like, the only reason Baker doesn't stay down hurt when he gets rocked is because he needs to get up and talk trash. There was also a clip of him. I was like cooking something while the game was on, so I didn't see this moment. Will Anderson Jr. is celebrating what he thought was a stop, and Baker Mayfield has to turn to go, we got a first down.
I saw that live.
I love Baker Mayfield. I can't
He's
help
grown
it.
on me. I didn't like him at first, but he's grown on me.
I love Baker Mayfield. All right. Still to come, we've got a cheating scandal for our time. That's next on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The Mike McDonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
What was different in the game this week? I think we're learning how to win those types of games where you face adversity, and we need to keep learning how to do that. And I think we're gaining confidence on the team that we think that we can be, and taking advantage of opportunities that come our way.
The Mike McDonald Show. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. But what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how can you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? That's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. Seriously, they've already given back over $800,000 to customers. It's such a great offer, and I know exactly what you're thinking. Okay, but how are they able to do it? It's not a consignment. You get paid for your car right away. Wayscar Ford pays you right up front. They buy your car for fair market value. No more insurance, no more maintenance, no more storage. Then they pay you half the profit when they resell your car. So get the most money possible for your old car at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work. WayscarFord.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may know the speeds lower than other customers, and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credits plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at cmobile.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
Hey, Brock Heward here for my friends at PCF Construction. You know, it was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
From the roof to the deck, the siding to the gutters, and energy-efficient windows, State Roofing and Exteriors is your one-stop shop for home protection. With over 55 years serving Western Washington, we don't just work here, we live here. We know what your home is up against when the cold sets in and the rain starts falling. Right now, we're making it easier than ever to get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Temperatures are dropping, but you don't have to settle for a chilly home this winter. Keep cozy and safe with energy-saving products during Washington Energy's home heating sale on now. Upgrading your home is as easy as $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 off. Take $1,000 off furnaces, fireplaces, and water heaters, $2,000 off high-efficiency heat pump systems, and $3,000 off whole home generators and ductless mini splits, plus free financing. Washington Energy Services, your expert resource for affordable home comfort. Call for a free estimate.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Nobody move. We got a cheating scandal. We have a new cheating scandal, and this one, of course, concerns sports. And you know what we've said about sports in general, Bump? If you're not cheating,
you're not trying.
You're not trying. So I can respect that people in sports, cheat. And we've examined in the timeline.
You can respect that people in sports cheat.
I sure can,
Like,
Bump.
what level of cheating?
Well, I don't want you banging on trash cans, but the more ridiculous the cheating is and the less it affects me personally, the more acceptable I find it.
Okay.
I'll say that.
All right.
I'll say that. For instance, banging on trash cans to end up getting to a World Series? No. Take it back. However, shaping stones so that in a stone skimming championship, your stones can go the furthest.
Wow.
That takes stones, and I respect it. That
Quite
is respectable.
honestly, yeah.
That is respectable cheating. So this is what's happening. A cheating scandal has rocked the World Stone Skimming Championships.
Is nothing sacred anymore?
Apparently not. Apparently not. Maybe this just skims the surface of what's really going on here at the championship. More than 2,200 people from 27 countries attended this year's event, and what they found was a scandal. So the organizer, Dr. Kyle Matthews, talked to BBC News for this one.
BBC News?
Yes.
Is that big of a deal?
Yes, this is a big deal.
What the heck?
It's about the integrity of the sport, okay? You have to uphold it. So what they found was basically for the stone skimming championship, you have to use natural stones. You cannot alter the stones. So it has to be like naturally occurring slate. And I think it might be from the island where they're having it near Scotland, but either way, you can't alter these yourself. So what they found was that some of these stones were found to have been ground into, quote, a suspiciously circular shape in order to help them bounce on water.
That's doing a lot for. I mean, what's the grand prize? What are we competing for?
Respect.
And
fame.
You better be getting like 6 figures. Is it that serious?
Apparently it is.
Come on, man.
The event was first organized in 1983. It's been going on for a minute there. Let's see. The first American winner just recently won, Jonathan Jennings. He won last week, skimming his stones a cumulative distance of 580 feet.
It's impressive. You know, as a father, that's one of the most impressive things I can do when my kids were young.
I always call it
They think you're
stones.
like bending water.
Yeah,
and bending
I'm like,
air.
whoa.
Yeah.
I go, you try, and they just dunking into the lake.
Oh, I've never been able to do it.
It's all about the angle, the wrist, the release.
Yeah.
Never
You gotta go with a submarine delivery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
So anyways, my favorite line from the entire report from BBC is this one. Matthews told BBC News that the offenders held up their hands and apologized. I love the idea of who did this. And they're just, Dr. Kyle, it was me. I did ground the stones into a circular shape to win.
Here's
and I'm
another
sorry.
question.
Mhm.
Is no one watching them as they take the stones from wherever they're taking them? Like, there should be refs and just following everyone's move. Like, you don't just take the stones and disappear and then come back ready to compete. You've been doing this since, what, 83?
Yeah.
They changing the game, man. We need more officials out there.
You know what? That's a really good point about them changing the game, though. How has no one thought about this before? These are innovative minds you need to tap into.
They probably bring the stones from home, but, like, if you do it at the event, like, how do you not get noticed? Who's that guy with the belt sander over there?
Exactly.
Like, what's he doing? Like, this, how do you get not noticed?
William Wallace disappears for an hour and comes back with perfectly round stones. What are we doing?
By the way, the organizer, the overseer of the event, Dr. Kyle Matthews, he's also known as the Toss Master.
Toss Master.
So there's a little bit of stone doctoring going on. And again, so those people were put on notice. The event moves on. They hope to have an even greater event next year. I'm wondering if this is all staged. I've never heard of nor spoken about the World Skimming Championships, Stone Skimming Championships, until today.
There's a lot of events going on that we don't know about.
I'm just saying, someone said, how would they know stones are gone once you throw them? Great question. So what they do, and this is true, is they have this like measuring tool that looks like a washer with like a handle on it, like a giant metal washer with a hand on it. And the stone has to fit within the circle of it. So they don't want you skimming stones that are too big. So they're actually examining every stone that ends up being thrown. So I think they just found like, these are starting to look a little unnatural here.
Yeah.
So that's how they found out.
Integrity.
Yeah. All right, next up. What a surprise. LSU head coach Brian Kelly went off on a reporter again.
Brian in the back, I know you love these immediate post-game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right, how about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's a ridiculous questions, and I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing.
I don't know, man. I kind of think those questions are all incredibly standard questions. Hey, just want to know, what'd you see from your offense? There's an opportunity for you as a head coach to spin that entirely the way you want. Hey, I know people may have been looking at the final score and maybe they weren't impressed, but what I saw was guys getting real physical, guys doing whatever it is. Like, he just keeps moving the goalposts. I know I'm speaking from the point of view as a reporter, but I've listened to a lot of like offensive questions, rude questions, out-of-pocket questions. I didn't find any of these to be abnormal in any way.
That was the first question asked, right?
Yep.
Why is the first question asked a team that's 3-0, number 3 in the country, something negative? I think eventually you get to that.
But what did you see from your offense today negative?
But they won the game 20-10. That's where I separate myself from like the media folk. It's like, they won the game. It wasn't pretty.
What'd you see from your offense?
You didn't execute. That's not what he's asking about. He didn't ask what you see with your offense.
What'd you see from your offense?
He's asking about the problems. Like, he's setting it up to talk about something negative.
Answer the question you want, then.
Your first question, you won 20-10.
I disagree.
You are 3-0.
I'm sorry, I disagree.
You can't disagree. You don't have to agree. But I see where he's come from. I also see that this guy has to ask those questions. I'm saying your first question He said they're 17-1 at night. Hey, coach, how'd your quarterback perform today? Like,
Sure.
You gotta, if you know anything about people, you soften him up. That's just like, that's a guy not being aware of who Brian Kelly is. And I'm sure he's worked with him several times. This ain't the first time he's asked Brian Kelly a question. Like, just soften him up with a softball and then go in. You're 14-14 on third down. What's going on there? Only 102 rushing yards on the ground against a team who isn't very good against run. I get that. I think both are right in their response, but I feel like the guy asking the question could have set it up a little better.
I have no problem with a head coach being snarky. I have no problem with a head coach ever defending his guys. In fact, I expect it. Nor would this be the approach I would have as a reporter. Maybe because you and I sit down for interviews and ask a lot of questions, you and I have the same approach of like, first you're going to, hey, big game for so-and-so. What'd you see from him, right? That's not the question you start with. What'd you see from your offense? Even when he's coming in with like clearly a tone that implies it wasn't enough, still gives you as a head coach a chance to answer the question you want.
And
I'm sorry, but whose tone was more or less professional?
I also
between
think
the
that
two?
there's context behind this too. We don't know the relationship with that guy, and we don't know what the questions have been asked in the SEC. I also think Brian Kelly needs to realize you are in the SEC, and they're going to ask difficult questions. So did he handle that perfectly? No. Brian Kelly,
That's what I'm saying.
You got hot, but also, come on, you know how to ask questions. Like, come on, man. If you want, as a reporter, you can control the situation. If you want to get something out of him, and you know this guy for the last, 3 years he's been there? 3 years, 2-3 years he's been there. You know how to get what you want out of it. It was just the tone, but Brian needs to simmer down as well.
It was absolutely the tone, but I've heard worse. I really do.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, but Brian, the program you're overseeing is too big for you to be flummoxed. What this is not about the question. It's not about the proper way necessarily for reporters to do things. This guy clearly does not especially like this reporter. I don't know their background. I don't know what's going on here, but what'd you see from the offense triggered a response.
It's the way
within
he said
Brian that he well, obviously that guy didn't see enough from the offense. And then he tweeted about it after being like, hey, the question needed to be asked.
It did. But come on, you know how this dance goes.
Yeah, and Brian knows how it goes. Importantly,
they're both
and for anyone texting
anyone
texting in, being like, "Oh, well, reporters," that's the entire job. Everything that y'all complain about, everything y'all complaining about the game, and then you get mad at reporters don't ask questions.
And Brian knows what he's doing. Both adults were not adulting in that moment.
But who was less of the adult in that moment?
I don't. That's
Brian.
That's all. That's what you think. I think the reporter asked the question. He set the tone. Brian reacted poorly.
Yes.
So if he asked the question first, he set the tone. I go with the reporter. They're both wrong.
Is it the reporter's job to feel? Is it his job to feel like LSU is excellent, or is it his job to go in and go, I feel like I didn't see enough from the offense? Hey, Brian, what did you see from your offense?
Is it Brian's job to cater to however this guy feels?
No, but you're telling me the reporter has to do that? That the reporter can't come in with the tone?
Both need to do it. He set the tone. Brian reacted poorly. Both need to do it.
I disagree on this one. I think that the show can't go on.
It's a wrap. Cut it.
Are we ready to overreact to week 2 in the NFL? Hype Train coming your way next on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The one and only Mark Schlereth. Every Monday at 4 during the NFL season with Wyman and Bob.
They did it in a fairly dominant fashion out there in Pittsburgh. How surprising is that to you?
You saw some growth, right? You saw some, a little bit better offense, a little bit better, both combination of running the ball and tying your play action in together on that stuff. So those things to me were good.
Get every can't miss conversation on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
What's up? It's Michael Bumpus for Silver Reef Casino. It's an easy drive up I-5. You go north, get off exit 260, and you are there. I listened to a podcast or a nice little playlist, and then it happened so quickly. They got an amazing steakhouse. They got the cantina if you want some Mexican food as well, and then have the Porter's Bay Sports Bar if you want to watch the game, have some drinks. It's awesome. They also got us golfers covered. Loomis Trails Golf Course. Water almost everywhere. You better hit that fairway. You want to soak in the last of the summer glow with their golden 4-hour giveaway at Silver Reef Casino Resort. Every Saturday from 6 p.m. to midnight, they're holding drawings with a grand prize winner of $10,000 at midnight. But also, don't forget the epic finale on September 27th, where one lucky winner will take home a massive $50,000. Are you feeling those golden hour vibes? Come find out if you are a winner at silverreefcasino.com. That's silverreefcasino.com.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The fall, well, it's a great time to reset your workouts on new stuff, and Top Fitness has some great deals going on right now. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you've heard me talk about working out in your home gym. It's the best. From flooring to everything that goes in that gym, like treadmills, ellipticals, and strength training systems, well, Top Fitness provides it all. Top Fitness represents the very best brands available, like Washington's own Precor, yes, the company that created the elliptical, and Inspire Fitness, the leader in strength training machines, along with so many others. Give Top Fitness your room dimensions right now, and you know what? They'll do the rest. They'll do a complete fitness room design. And right now, get 0% interest financing, mention you heard it from me, and receive an additional $100 off any new treadmill or home gym. It's no secret that everyone, from personal trainers to professional athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit them online at topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Rick Riz here with a big thank you to everyone who submitted a nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program.
Thanks, Rick. This is Elisa with Pella Windows and Doors. With so many amazing entries, we decided to award 2 additional teams with $2,500 prizes. We are thrilled to announce Team Wilder Basketball and Linwood High School Football.
Thanks to you and Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
It's G. Scott. School's back and it's rally time. Time to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong and stay focused, but for families on tight budgets, that's not easy. Safeway and the Washington State Department of Health have teamed up and need your help. Every dollar you donate at Safeway checkout helps families in need. And with SNAP Produce Match, they get twice as much for the dollar. Next time you're at Safeway, please donate to keep kids healthy.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and this Wednesday, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday night at 6 to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Rob Staton is going to join us in less than 15, getting back to the Seahawks. Right now, let's head to the station for Hype Train. Will the Mariners be able to have a winning road trip? I don't know. We'll find out. They got 2 series here beginning against the Royals today at 4:40 p.m. And then you've got the Houston Astros beginning on Friday. I'm keeping it simple. The Mariners will have a winning road trip.
They're going to go 4-2. I think, and Cal's going to hit 2 bombs, and Polanco's going to hit 3 more doubles. And who has the ball tonight? Is Gilbert on the mound? And Gilbert is going to look like the guy that we know and love. I'm on this 100%. I need to see this. I'm a little skeptical because of their last road trip. They did win their last game in Atlanta, or last 2 games in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, 2 blowouts in a row.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to hope that they take those vibes with them.
And all the runs.
And all the runs and all the hits and all the glory to, is it Kaufman? Is that the name of the ballpark?
Yeah.
Kaufman.
Okay.
I'm on that.
The Mariners have a winning road trip. Bump is boarding. Curtis, or you?
I will board. I think the road struggles are a thing of the past. This team gets it right over the week. I think, 4-2 is a very reasonable expectation for them over the course of the next 6 games. Most importantly, win at least 2 in Houston, and you've set yourself up very nicely for that final homestand of the year. So, 4-2 over the next 6.
I am also saying they're going to win this, and I'm not just going on vibes alone. I think the 2 really bad road trips are an anomaly, not in a wildly crazy way. Again, they were just barely above 500 in August before the start of those 2 horrible road trips. So it's not like they were a dominant road team, but they were not that bad. So I think they get back to business here and continue winning. Do I think that they're going to continue on some 15-game streak? No. Unfortunately,
That'd be nice.
Unfortunately, I don't. We are going to get a game where we're frustrated with the bullpen. We're going to get a game where we question pitching. It's just going to happen. But I think they'll fare better against 2 opponents that they should beat here. I know that it's tough. I know both teams can pack a punch, specifically Houston. But I don't know. I'm really feeling the Mariners right now. First place Mariners. Next up. Ken Walker outgained Zach Charbonnet for a 2nd straight week.
I think he deserved the right to get the bulk of the carries, at least to start. They said they were going to go with the hot hand last week, and that's what they did. There was a time during the second half or late in the game where Ken Walker or Charbonnet was in the game, and I'm thinking, Ken Walker needs to get the rock. But I think Ken Walker's on the reestablish myself journey tour, and he's going to do exactly that. 2 games in a row, he goes for over 100.
Ken getting his groove back here. I couldn't believe it had been since week 1
against
of last
Denver.
year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Walker outgained Zach Charbonnet for a 2nd straight week. Curtis.
I hope so, because I think that means that Ken Walker is running with a purpose. He's healthy. That would be ideal as well. I will board this train. I think Ken Walker does outgain Zach Charbonnet. I don't know if he goes for 100 like he did this last week, but I think he finishes with more yards than Charbonnet does.
I think so too. And I think we can start to put to bed conversations about, do you trade Ken Walker? I think people got a little, it's premature. We'll see how the season goes. But I think people got a little too eager to jump onto the Walker's always hurt, you can't do anything with him wagon. He's your fastest running back. He doesn't have Zach Charbonnet's availability. The coaching staff clearly loves Zach Charbonnet. He will have his opportunities, and he's fun to watch too when he gets going. But Ken's fast, man. Like,
you know what's messed up?
When he's gone, he's gone.
Is when I didn't see Ken Walker late in the game, I thought he was hurt. Like I have the same. Like I'm like, man, he must be hurt. Like, why aren't they playing this dude?
Yep.
But yeah, let's give him some grace, I guess.
Next up. The Chiefs have started the season 0-2 for the first time since 2014. Meanwhile, the Chargers just beat the Raiders last night. Dominant win over the Raiders and are 2-0 to start the season and now betting favorites to win the AFC West. But it's phrased this way. The Chiefs will not win the AFC West.
I'm just not ready to give up on them yet.
Not taking the field.
I just can't quit them. You know, they do have a tough, they got the Giants coming up. You assume they win that one, but then you got the Ravens. They could easily be 1-3
Yep.
coming out this thing.
Yep.
Oh, man. You know, but I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
I'm not ready. Holla at me in October.
Okay, this is really a question about taking the field, and Bump's not ready to do it. He said they're going to have to prove they can't win it before I buy in. The Chiefs will not win the AFC West. Curtis, first one aboard?
I am going to board this train, and here's why. I'm looking at the Chargers' upcoming opponents. Against Denver, maybe a challenge there. Giants, I think the Chargers should win that one. Washington, we don't know what Jaden Daniels' health is going to be like in that game. Miami should go the Chargers' way. Indy at home, Minnesota at home, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Vegas. What I'm getting at is that the Chargers don't play many dominant teams this season, and they don't even see the Chiefs again until Week 15. I think the Chargers' schedule sets up really nicely for them to have a pretty good season this year. I think they should be the favorites in the AFC West. But I still think the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs and still be a force.
You're just taking them as a wild card.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are in a nice spot.
That'd be nice. When's the last time the Chiefs didn't win the division? 6 years, 7 years?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know the 0-2 stat was from 2014, but I know the last time they didn't make the playoffs at all.
I believe 2014 was the last time they didn't.
2014.
Yeah, their last time missing the
11 years.
playoffs was 2014.
Jeez. All right, back to the Seahawks here. Rob Staton told us he felt after a Week 1 loss like Seahawks fans weren't shown the offense they were promised. Did he see what he wanted in Week 2? That's next on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob, every afternoon at 2.
You're looking at all the websites and all the baseball stories out there, and you couldn't get away from Judge hitting 2 home runs and Judge tying Joe DiMaggio, and I couldn't help but wonder, is Cal slipping in the MVP race?
Cal needs to have a big surging couple of weeks here to drag some of that conversation back, to create that narrative talking about how valuable the catcher is, and I 1,000% agree with him.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Construction. You know, it was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm joined by Tim Hunter, who underwent treatment in February. Tim, what's it like to go through the CyberKnife treatment?
Well, you go in, you do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital, and it's they say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It was just too easy.
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners begin their final road trip of the regular season today with a series opener against the Kansas City Royals. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Pregame starts at 3:30. First pitch at 4:40 p.m. on Seattle Sports. The Astros took game one of their series against the Rangers yesterday, but at a cost. Yordan Alvarez left the game in a walking boot and crutches after hyperextending his leg across home plate.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, it's Rob Staton of Seahawks Draft Blog, and I obviously want to start with the offense for this one, a Week 2 win over the Steelers. Rob, after Week 1, you said, I felt like we were promised an offense and didn't quite get much of it against the San Francisco 49ers. Did you feel like you saw the offense fans were promised in Week 2?
I think we saw a lot more what we were expecting there, and the way that the yardage difference was, it was a little bit of a reverse of the San Francisco 49ers game. We saw Cooper Kupp involved. They had design plays for Elijah Arroyo. A.J. Barner's more heavily involved. It was great to see Ken Walker having a big game. I think it was a much more positive performance. Charles Cross was excellent at left tackle. Who could dislike the block that Oots put on those two linebackers? Fantastic. So, yeah, I thought there was a lot of positives there. And let's not forget the quarterback, Sam Darnold. You know, I think he had a really good game in this one.
I liked his bounce back. I like his resilience, right? You throw those 2 interceptions and you calm yourself down. You end up throwing 2 touchdowns. What did you see in the play calling that allowed him to bounce back? Did you see anything there?
There was more play action. They're playing more of the plays that I think we expected to see from this offense. And then I think it was just down to him. They opened things up. They were attacking the middle of the field. The downfield shot to finish the game late on, that's the kind of play that you kind of want to see thrown in there. It can't all be the short stuff. It can't just be a series of screens and runs. So I really do think they opened things up. Two really good touchdown throws from Sam Darnold in particular. The first one, I know that Torrey Horton's wide open. He's still under pressure, Darnold there. I think he's kind of thrown off his back foot a little bit and still managed to get it to Horton. Really good tight window throw to Barner for his touchdown. And look, he may well have had 2 interceptions in this game. I don't think one of them was his fault. I was not sure on the play call that led to that second interception. And really, when you play action and you've got 2 defenders breathing down your neck, it's an awful position for the quarterback to be in. So, yeah, I think he played well despite those 2 interceptions. And at the end of the day, at least it was 2 interceptions and not 3.
Mike McDonald told reporters on Monday, we have to extend leads better. That's part of our emphasis as a football team and where we can grow. Now, you've got to be in a good place already as a team or feel confident if you're like, now what we want to do is make it a 14-point deficit. However, what's something that you'd like to see this team kind of build on in week 3?
I just want to see them really working on that identity. I think they took a big step forward in this game, but it does feel as if there's a little bit more room for that. Really refine this offense now. We did see last season, defense started well for 3 games, then it kind of fell apart, and then they rebuilt things when they replaced the linebackers. I think the offense is probably going to go through a similar process here, that over time, you're gradually going to build on that. Certain players are going to become more impactful. Hopefully, this is just scratching the surface where you see Jackson Smith and Jigba have another really big game. Cooper Kupp really gets involved in the action. Maybe we're going to see a bit more from the tight ends and Torrey Horton as we move along. It'd also be really great to see both running backs have maybe not a great game, because I think sort of Ken Walker had a great game on Sunday and Zach Charbonnet couldn't get a yard. The week before, Zach Charbonnet was good. Ken Walker could barely get a couple of yards. Is there a way to sort of make this a serious 2-headed monster, or is it always going to be this way that one plays well and then the other doesn't? But if they can work that out and they can really get things moving here, I think this defense is showing signs that it is going to be really good. Special teams has been good so far. If they can improve the offense, this can be a heck of a team.
There was a competition within the team during that game, and it was Rick Woolen and Josh Jobe. Right, who's going to outperform the other and make plays? And it seemed like both of them had pretty good games. How would you move forward with the DB situation if you were Coach McDonald?
I've been so impressed, as I'm sure everybody has, with Josh Jobe. The way that he has played in both games so far has been really impressive. I think he is deserving of more opportunities. That said, Rick Woolen received a lot of criticism the week before. You could barely notice him on the field. And I think that's to his credit. If you are not noticing a cornerback sometimes, they don't have to be making interceptions. If you're not noticing him, if they're not picking on him, if he's not giving up plays, he is doing his job. And I think that was a really good bounce back. So maybe one thing they can do is they can be a bit more creative with Devin Witherspoon when he's back to full health. They can move him inside and play Jobe and Woolen. But Jobe has definitely deserved more reps. And if it has to be one or the other, if Jobe continues on this trajectory in a couple of weeks' time, he might be the guy who you just can't leave off the field.
I wish I could just kind of like fast forward and see how Clint Kubiak kind of develops as a play caller this year. Already, I think the only thing I'm kind of confident in is he's a better fit than Ryan Grubb. And other than that, I'm kind of waiting to see. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't like scrolling through the Saints subreddit to find out like what were people saying about Clint Kubiak? What are they saying heading into this one? And it was just such a mixed bag. What have you liked so far, just big picture with Clint? And what's maybe a question you still have about him? Because I think finding that play caller is so central to becoming a Super Bowl team again.
Well, the two main things that I liked about him was that it was very clear on what he wanted to do. There was great clarity on what type of offense this was going to be. I think at times in Seattle, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. And even when you've maybe had offensive coordinators who've had the same, maybe Pete Carroll wants to have his say as well, and he kind of wants to dictate things a little bit. Last year, I just don't think there was any real idea as to what Ryan Grubb wanted to do. It was a bit of a fish out of water situation. Now they've moved to a coordinator who does know what he wants to do, and he's got the coaches to install that. And then the other thing was the experience of his staff, immensely experienced coaching staff there, who you would imagine are going to work with these players and develop. The one thing, as I said, the one thing that really needs to me is just to refine everything. It's to get to a point where you feel like the turnovers are going to come down. They've had too many turnovers in the first two games. They're going to sort of know if they want to be a great. Mike McDonald said this after the game. If you want to be a great outside zone team, you've got to be able to do it. And if they can't hang the hat on that, then they're not going to be anything this year. So we want to see more outside zone runs. I want to see more of those big runs that we saw at the weekend on Sunday, where Ken Walker's breaking through the first tackle and then it's away. And it's not just a 5-6 yard run. It can become a 20-yard and explosive run. I think that's what we want to see. But they're going to play some opponents coming up in the next few weeks that I think will give them an opportunity to get to that place.
I think they should be willing to adjust if it doesn't work. And I think that's what we saw with the Steelers, right? They tried the outside zone in the toss. It wasn't working, so they went more inside zone. And I'm wondering if they're going to – how stubborn they will be with that wide zone. Is there a point in the season where if it's just not working, you can it, or do you keep showing defenses that run to set everything up?
I think you have to have a degree of flexibility, but you also have to have a core identity. If you don't really know what you want to do in a given game, then it can be a little bit haphazard. And really, the main point of any quality team is this is who we are. This is what we're going to do. You cannot stop it. I don't think the better teams kind of just go, we're going to throw 100 different things your way. Now, some teams, we saw that with the Detroit Lions under Ben Johnson, and we saw it again at the weekend when they hammered Ben Johnson's Bears, is that they are going to throw, their sort of identity is that we do a lot of different things and we're going to attack you in lots of different areas, and they've got the playmakers to be able to do that. I don't know if Seattle quite have the assortment of weapons that the Lions have. So I think right now, as a new coordinator in year one, as this sort of develops, it is, okay, let's refine what we want to be. Let's make teams know what we're going to do, how we're going to attack them, but we're just going to be better than them. And if they can do that, you can build off that. You can expand things. You can be more creative. But first and foremost, you've got to get your core identity right. And I think that's what they will work on.
Very big picture question, but how can they build that up? You mentioned, I don't know that they've been able to stack up the talent that Detroit has. That's in part because, as you know, right, you're a draft expert. As you know, the Lions have been able to stack up those early picks. I think one thing one thing John Schneider's always lamented is we haven't gotten to pick number 2 overall and get Nick Bosa. We haven't had to pick number 4 overall. And yes, they have had 5 overall to get Devin. But, I mean, how can you simultaneously build up from, getting 10 wins last year and also find that talent? I know that's a big picture question, but maybe no one better to ask.
Well, increasingly, I think you've got to look at the veteran market. And if you look at teams who have won Super Bowls or competed for Super Bowls recently in the NFC, increasingly savvy trades, sometimes during the season, have enabled teams to get there. The Niners going and trading for Christian McCaffrey is a good example. Trent Williams was a great trade for the 49ers. The Eagles are experts at this. They will go and add talent during the season, and it will improve their team and it will fix certain areas. And we've seen it with the Seahawks. There's no LOB era without the Marshawn Lynch trade, which happened about a month into the season. I think they've got to keep their eye out. They've got to see what opportunities are out there. There are going to be teams in the coming weeks, Miami's a good example of this, who may just think this is over. We're going to have to rebuild here. We're going to have to move on. And, are there going to be some offensive players or even an edge rusher who you can go and acquire? And that has significantly impacted the defense doesn't get to where it gets to without him coming in. And let's go even a step further. Leonard Williams, that is looking like one of the best in-season trades that any team has made in recent years. Can you tell me a better defensive tackle pass rusher right now than Leonard Williams in the league? People might say, what about Jalen Carter? He's a highlights player. He has sort of 4 or 5 great players when he's actually on the field, by the way, 4 or 5 great plays, which you can put in a great highlight video. Williams is consistent. He is destructive. He's just sort of lifting the entire team. When you put him alongside an underrated Jaron Reed, you put him alongside a developing Byron Murphy, as a trio, they're a tour de force at the moment. So that's the kind of example when you get a really clever, intelligent in-season trade, you can elevate your team to the next level. Maybe that's what they're open-minded about doing here.
Now, thankfully, we have a while before we end up actually talking about that. And instead, we just get to talk about what happens in week 3. And Rob, we can't wait to ask you about it when, fingers crossed, the Seahawks beat the Saints. We'll talk to you next week.
Go Cougs.
He is Rob Staton of Seahawks Draft Blog. Before we get to headline rewrites, spending a little bit more time on some of what Rob was saying, and instead I'm going to kind of toss you some.
Can I say first that I respect that Rob wore the Cougs hat after we just got smacked by North Texas. I wasn't sure. I was like, is that a Cougs hat? It was kind of tilted up a little bit.
You needed your readers.
Yeah, I need my readers
to just kind of. The screens are, to be fair, no one's in the studio, but quite far away from us, so you guys can see it better than we can. But.
Yeah, go Cougs. He's a real one for that.
Yeah.
He's a real one.
Ahead of the Apple Cup, too. And you and I have our bet about Jonah Coleman, which I feel pretty confident in.
Yeah, I say 3. You say 5.
It's an aggressive bet, and I know that. Well, I said he could get 5.
You said more than
but
3.
We're taking over 3. So
Yeah.
with 4, I also win. And I need, Jed, if you're listening, I'm sure you are, I really need Jonah to get 4 touchdowns in this one.
He's gonna
Does
go
a
off.
receiving touchdown count? 4 touchdowns total?
Well, we gotta go over the specifics because I was assuming it was just rushing touchdowns.
I was too. Should we keep it with just
It's
rushing?
rushing. I
But
mean,
what if he gets-
whatever you want to do.
Okay. Combined.
Combined.
Is the number still 3 or are you nervous?
Combined has got to be 4.
Okay, I'm taking rushing. I'm going to stick
All right.
with rushing just because that's more fun to root for. So
All right.
rushing only.
Rushing only.
4 or more, I
This
win.
might be the only win I get for Apple Cup week.
Let's talk about the Seahawks offense. We spent a lot of time asking Rob about, not only micro, kind of what'd you see in week 2 compared to week 1, what did you like, but a macro, what do you think about Clint Kubiak? Where can he grow? What do you want to see from the offense? What did you think, not just of his answers, but I'm curious what you think about the offense so far.
When I asked him, how stubborn do you get with the wide zone? And obviously it's week by week matchups. Some weeks is going to work, some weeks is not going to work. That's 2 weeks in a row that the wide zone and the tosses didn't look good. And you look at the matchups on defensive line or whatnot, and I like the way that he adjusted. He went to inside zone and ran some gap scheme and said we're going to do it there, but still showed enough wide zone to keep guys honest. I like that adjustment. Obviously, the play action. I mean, the first touchdown of the game was a play action, and then you throw it to Torrey Horton. So we wanted to see more of that. We saw more of that. I'm looking at the right guard spot and wondering if they're satisfied with his play. And this AB, man. And good dude, spoke to him, like him. But last week wasn't his best performance. He probably played better the week before, but still wasn't at the level that you would like it to be. What do you do there, though?
Yeah.
So the adjustments at right guard, I'm interested to see.
Yeah, I think going to Rob's point about identity, and granted these two things are closely correlated, you can better establish your run when your offensive line is functioning as a whole, when your right guard is playing well. Oh, and also that's what you want your identity to be. So I know that these two things are related, but I think for me, my feelings of watching teams, kind of do that thing where you're kind of like squinting your eyes a little bit and you're looking at a fuzzy version of a team. What I mean to say is like the feeling you get when you don't even need to know the specifics to know like, oh, this team is cooking, is when you kind of know what to expect each time. I know who they are. I know who they want to be. I know what they want their counterpunch to be. Or if nothing else, I have faith that they can adjust.
Yeah.
Never really out of it. Like those are the kind of like, kind of like fuzzy, ill-defined borders where you're like, oh, I know the feeling of this team. And I, like Rob maybe, don't quite feel that with the Seahawks yet. I think it comes from a lot of different sources. It comes from having great players. The Seahawks Legion of Boom era also had all-pros and Pro Bowlers and some of the best players at their position league-wide, right? It wasn't just like, oh, great scheme. No, that was a talent thing.
Well, I have a feeling with this team on defense. I think both games they've been pretty good on the defensive line, causing pressure, collapsing the pocket on them. Offensively, you got to show it one more week. Like, can you do it? Can you connect the dots from week 2 to week 3 when it comes to your approach in the run game, your play action, and spreading the football around? First time we saw 2 tight ends get involved last week. Cooper Kupp got involved last week. Horton, JSN, all the names that we thought week 1 were going to get involved got involved. So if he can connect week 2 to week 3, then the belief in the offensive identity will start to grow. Defensively, I think I know exactly who they are.
Now, does connecting that just mean, hey, in week 3 you end up rushing pretty successfully and beating the Saints, or does it look like something more specific? What does it mean to connect those ideas into week 3?
Put drives together and look multiple, because we saw tight end motion into the flat. We saw one-on-one matchups taking your shots. We saw multiple running backs, wide zone, inside gap scheme. It's just there's a flow. Like you just described it perfectly. It's like when you hear a fire beat.
I'm so glad you were picking up what I was trying so hard to explain myself, but you got what I was saying, right?
Like when you feel a fire beat and you just
know.
You just know, like, oh, this is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one.
Yeah.
You know.
Kanye, you did it again.
Right. And it's like, what did Mike McDonald say? Explosive plays. Like, when you see it.
You know when you see it.
It's just a feel.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but it's there's a flow
you're right.
that happens.
Exactly. And that's the thing with teams. Like, when you think of teams that are really rolling right now, you just know who they are. You know what it feels like to face them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a fan, you know what it feels like when they're winning and when they're rolling. Like the Seahawks at their very best were fun and kind of unrelenting and physical, right? Now that doesn't describe every single great team. Some of them are incredibly precise, right? Surgical. Some of them are just persistent or whatever it is, but you just know it. And that doesn't mean that those teams win every single time. Lost to the Colts in, I think, week 4 back in 2013. Didn't lose a lot that season. Didn't lose when it mattered most, and that's important. But I don't feel that with this team yet. I agree with your point. Like, you can start to feel it with the defense for sure. I'm waiting to see what finally triggers that feeling.
Waiting for the beat to drop. The buildup is there. Waiting for the beat to drop.
And we're like, it's building. So when's it gonna?
Defense is building it.
I don't think
Offense got to drop it.
I don't think it'll come in week 3 against the Saints. However, if you play like you did in the second half against the Saints, against the Cardinals on Thursday night, and then I've forgotten who they have in week 5. 1 week at a time for me. I'm a player like that.
Here's the thing, though, man. Listen, I know we expect to beat the Saints. You should beat the Saints. All right? The Saints lost the Cardinals 20-13 and the Niners 26-21. It's not like these dudes just walked away. And the more I watch the tape, the more I look at that defensive line, I'm like, hey, O-line got to be ready to play.
Listen, the Saints put up more rushing yards against the 49ers defense than the Seahawks did. They put up like 120 plus on the ground. Granted, that is how the Saints want to win. Okay, so that's important. But it's not like I think they had like 31 carries total. That's a lot, but it's not like this kind of, 2 yards per carry. They're just carrying the rock a ton. They had 4 yards per carry.
4.6 per carry.
Against the 49ers. That's massive. Oh, and also, they missed a field goal in a 6-point game. They missed a field goal. And they had another big incompletion that could have been a field goal. So I think it was like an Alvin Kamara fumble on 3rd down well within the 49ers territory. So that would have been a field goal if you didn't convert that. If that's just a drop instead,
I'm saying
6 points and it's 27-26 New Orleans wins.
You can't sleep on these guys. They put up 307 yards of offense against the Niners. The Hawks 230. 186 pass yards against the Niners. The Hawks 146. We talked about the rushing. 121 against the Niners. The Hawks 84. I'm just saying it ain't going to be just a walk in the park.
And we're just sticking with this since we only have a couple more minutes here. I was going back again. I already told you this, but those 1-score games week 1, out of 16 games, guess how many were 1-score games?
It was like 12 or 14.
12, you're correct. And then it was 9. Yeah, I think 9 in week 2. Like, this has been, not only have both of the Saints games been 1-score losses, and in either chance or either game they had a chance to kind of get back in and win it. Just around the league, people love the NFL for a reason, man. Like, not only does the sport itself just kind of capture a lot of what we seem to really love from sports, but it's close. Parity is real.
Spencer Rattler threw 3 touchdowns against the Niners.
He has no interceptions this year.
Throw any touch. We should win this ball game, but let's put some respect on the Saints. I know people are, the Saints, Kellen Moore, Spencer Rattler. Who? I'm just saying, common opponent, and things change week by week. I get that.
And it's not that Spencer Rattler has me like shaking in my boots over here, wondering what the Seahawks defense is going to do. It's that I'm wondering if the Seahawks offense can be as successful with the run, since the New Orleans defense was pretty solid against the run from San Francisco, and wondering if Alvin Kamara can take off. Again, if Alvin Kamara doesn't fumble in that game, I think the Saints win that game.
Alvin Kamara
he had 99 yards.
What Warren did that one play every time he touches the football. They also sacked the quarterback 3 times. Hawks sacked him 1 time. We don't fear anybody, but you respect everybody, especially in the NFL. This ain't college football.
Yeah. I mean, you can still – I think what's still going to happen is if they beat the Saints, there's going to be a lot of talk of, what can you really take from a win against this team? But I think there's a lot there to take.
There is. This is not a bad team.
Can I say something, though, that should make Seahawks fans feel a little bit better? I was just looking at this game that they had against the 49ers a ton last night.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 longest completions, longest plays of the day for the 49ers, all came on third down.
Yeah, they were killing on third down against the. I wonder, what were they, like 75% on third down against the Seahawks?
I don't know exactly what it was, but on 3rd and 11, 42 yards to Jennings. 3rd and 6, 29 yards to Jennings. Now, the Seahawks were cooking on first down. You actually had a 4-down territory earlier this week where you were looking at some of the explosive plays they had on first down. 4 of the Seahawks' longest plays were all on first down.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like that's not just a 49er stat. That feels like it could be a bit of a Saints stat, too.
We'll see. Let's keep watching film. Right now, I feel like respect them. Holla at me on like a Thursday when we're back.
Is there a single team in the league you wouldn't respect on a Sunday, though?
No.
I don't think
Not
so.
one. Not one.
Like, there's no Colorado Rockies. And you know what?
I respect the
Rockies
Dolphins
still
right
have
now.
18 wins. Okay? 18 times, I think, maybe more than that. I don't actually know their record. I would say at least 5 times this year the Rockies have won a game.
At least.
Minimum 5, really, when you think about it. All right, let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners taking on the Royals. Pregame starts at 3:30 p.m. First pitch at 4:40 on Seattle Sports. Taking a look around the NFL next.
The one and only Mark Schlereth. Every Monday at 4 during the NFL season with Wyman and Bob.
They did it in a fairly dominant fashion out there in Pittsburgh. How surprising is that to you?
You saw some growth, right? You saw some, a little bit better offense, a little bit better, both combination of running the ball and tying your play action in together on that stuff. So those things to me were good.
Get every can't miss conversation on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
It's G. Scott. School's back and it's rally time. Time to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong and stay focused, but for families on tight budgets, that's not easy. Safeway and the Washington State Department of Health have teamed up and need your help. Every dollar you donate at Safeway checkout helps families in need. And with SNAP Produce Match, they get twice as much for the dollar. Next time you're at Safeway, please donate to keep kids healthy.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us.
Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at PCF Construction. You know, it was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop, and boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Whoa!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It was a no good, very bad Monday Night Football day for Geno Smith, but how does he feel about his 3 interceptions?
The first play of the game was a play that we designed. We had an open guy, led him a little bit too far out front. Ball gets tipped up, gets interception. A play that obviously you want to have those plays back. You can't. I mean, it's the reality of it. Took a shot to Dante, before the half. I thought he had a safety on him, thought he had a shot. I gave him a chance. Obviously, it didn't work out in our favor. So, again, those are things that I got to learn from and be better at. Anything that doesn't look right out there, you put that on my feet, put that on my shoulders. I feel like I got to be a lot better for our guys. I know I have to, and I will be.
He does.
Sounds like he's in Seattle. That's the same type of post-game interview that we got out here. And the thing, you can not like Geno, but he's always going to step up to the mic and say the right things. Even if you don't really believe it, he knows that he's a quarterback. He's going to say the right thing. For all the Geno haters, though, they were watching that game last night.
Oh, celebrating.
Great. Me, I was rooting for Geno, man, but the very first interception, he let his receiver a bit too far. The one in the end zone was a great play by Duran, man, because they had Duran playing that Mike linebacker spot, so he was just playing center field, and Roman made a good play. He missed some throws out there.
I feel like it was mostly that it was overthrows and too high.
Yeah.
It
wasn't poor decisions.
It felt like,
just didn't execute.
Yeah, it felt like this consistent thing where if you were watching one half of the play only, you'd think, oh, Geno handled pressure mostly well. There was obviously a horrible 4th down scramble where he just ends up getting, I think, sacked or tries to throw it away. I forget what happened. So there's a horrible 4th down, but if you were to just look at him purely in the pocket, you could be fooled into thinking it was a good game because it looked like he was executing the throws that he wanted. Like it was the play that he wanted, but it just ended up being overthrown, it felt like, every time. And at first I was even giving him the benefit of the doubt, going, well, maybe these receivers need to catch some balls here.
Yeah, you watch all 22.
No.
He's just not. He looks good from the pocket, but yeah, not his best.
In the other Monday night game, the Buccaneers needed a last-second touchdown to take down the Texans.
Hot in motion. They are going to run it. And no signal yet. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Rachaad White on top with 6 seconds to go.
The Buccaneers are now 2-0, while the Texans are 0-2. C.J. Stroud was asked about what he's telling his guys after a tough start to the year.
Yeah, just stay together. Stay committed to one another, trust in one another. The sun will rise in the morning. It's not the end of the world, but at the same time, we all get paid a service, to do a job, and we got to get those jobs done at a faster rate. Yeah, I think, as a team, we got to just stay together. Everybody's going to talk crazy, and we suck, we this, we that, and at the end of the day, we got to stay together and just mesh well and, be honest, have hard conversations. But, I think right now we need more confidence as an offense at least, just confidently playing better together. I think that's a big thing. We haven't played together, a lot of us, so the more confidence that we build, I think the better that we'll be off.
What have you seen so far from the Texans?
Not a lot. You only rushed the ball 19 times for 84 yards. You threw the ball 24 times. Without even looking at time of possession, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Bucs dominate the time of possession if you're not doing that. Yeah, 37 minutes to 22. I think it's more about what the Bucs are doing, man. They got two running backs over there, a 1-2 combo that I hope that Zach Charbonnet and Ken Walker can resemble. You got Bucky Irvin, 71 yards. You got Rachaad White, 65 yards, that game-winning touchdown. They're dynamic, and then the kid from Steilacoom, Emeka Egbuka, has 3 touchdowns. I believe through 6 quarters he had 3 touchdowns. That was the most by a receiver since Jerry Rice. Don't put that pressure on that young man. But yeah, Houston is not enough, man. You got to possess the ball, and Tampa Bay just a gritty team. You can never count them out.
Frustrating losses for the Texans in back-to-back weeks because with the Rams, it really was just not quite enough, but that was not a high-scoring game. I think it was 14-9, something relatively low scoring. So you ultimately did hold the Rams, and they did just enough to stretch out the win, but another quarter, and maybe that goes the Texans' way. Stupid thing to say, but what I mean is that it was a very close game. And in this one, the Bucs, like I said, needed that last-second touchdown in order to get it done. So I don't know if this becomes, hey, if your strength is going to be defense, it needs to be elite, right? That's the conversation we were having at the Seahawks in week 1. Or if it becomes just finish. You're so close, just finish.
And I wonder about just their pass catchers over there. Is there enough over there with Houston? You still got Nico over there as well. Christian Kirk's a throwback. Jaden Higgins, the guaranteed contract kid, needs to step up. A lot of pressure for a rookie, but he started all this madness. He started this stuff.
He did. The Chiefs are 0-2 for the first time since 2014, Andy Reid's second season in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes was asked about what the issues are on offense over the last 2 games.
I think it's a little bit of everything. Like I said earlier, it's just kind of one guy every play. You've seen there's me missing throws early in the game and late in the game. And then there's a batted ball where I'm probably hitting Noah for a 15 to 20 yard completion over the middle, and then missing Juju early in the game. I know I was pressured, but hitting them on that. It's just little stuff here and there. And so in this league, especially when you're playing good teams and playing good defenses, if you miss those little opportunities, those drives stall out. And so we'll play another great defense this week. And so it'll be another challenge for us. And all we can do is get back to work and continue to work so that we can kind of iron out those wrinkles and be better as offense.
Bump, I feel like if you're trying to pinpoint what Kansas City's issues might be right now, you can probably start with just Patrick Mahomes' stat line from that game against the Eagles, in that he was their leading rusher, not many people to throw it to. You had a key drop by Kelsey. You just don't have enough weapons right now.
Not only was he the leading rusher in that game, he was the leading rusher in the game before against the Chargers. You need a run game. Pacheco has to get going. Kareem Hunt has to get going. You're waiting for Rashee Rice. He was the guy who's supposed to be his go-to guy. Juju is a good target. He's a number 3. Hollywood Brown is a solid number 2. But I expect some moves to be made here pretty soon when it comes to bringing pass catchers in. Or maybe they just settle down. Who knows? But Mahomes cannot be your team's leading rusher 2 weeks in a row.
No. It feels far too premature to say, can't win a Super Bowl. It's not going to get done. Like, if ever there was a team that's proven you can bet on them when you least expect to, it's probably the Kansas City Chiefs. Is there any doubt you have at all creeping into your mind about how far they could go?
There's a little doubt.
A little bit?
There's a little doubt. When you're 0-2, I mean, there's some doubt. But when you're 0-2 and you're the Chiefs, who have won everything almost every year, it feels like, they get the benefit of the doubt. Give me until like week 4 or 5, and then I'll let you know.
A couple teams, well, more than a couple teams in the AFC that are 2-0. One of them so far, the Cincinnati Bengals. That's the good news. Bad news, no surprise here. The Bengals have officially placed Joe Burrow on the IR with his turf toe injury, expected to miss up to 3 months.
Let's go, Jake.
Let's go.
Let's go, Jake. I'm with Jake, man. I like Jake.
Go Dogs.
He's a baller. He's like one of the top 5 backups in the game right now. He can hold it down for a little bit, but it sounds like he might have to hold it down for a lot of bit. So we'll see how he executes.
Who do you have the most faith in the AFC right now? Ravens are leading in points per game. They scored 40 in back-to-back weeks. It just unfortunately wasn't enough in week 1, but so far they're the highest scoring team in the NFL. Them or the Bills? Would you kind of...
I mean, the Bills got the head-to-head, so you got to roll with the Bills right now.
And the 2-0 start so far.
Yeah, but Lamar's playing some good ball. But you got to roll with the Bills.
Yeah.
2-0.
I mean, Lamar didn't allow 41 points.
He didn't, but he didn't score 42.
Fair. The fairest way to end that one. Mike Tomlin says rookie returner Caleb Johnson, who had that special teams gaffe against the Seahawks, will probably not be returning kicks for Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Come on, man. Give a brother a break.
I know.
One mistake.
That's how I feel.
And they're out of that. Now, thank you for the mistake. Big ups George Halani for jumping on that, but you cannot do that to that kid. One mistake, and now he's out of there. Was he drafted?
Up real quick.
I think he was.
Come on, man.
He was a 3rd-round pick in 2025, so he's not with the team.
Come on. Give the kid a break. He messed up. Let him learn from it. You might mess up his mental for the rest of his career now. He will never return a kick again.
No.
Because you scarred him.
3rd-round pick?
Yeah, 3rd rounds, they get some opportunities. After 3rd, then, it's whatever. But 1 through 3?
I'm just wondering, where's this going to... You're demoted on special teams. Where do you make an impact now? Because usually
He's probably a backup running back. He's a running back by trade.
He's going to run down and tackle somebody on kickoff. That's what he's going to do. Or be back there blocking, be on the front lines now on kick return.
No, what you need to do is sabotage someone else who's going to be returning. That's the only fair and understandable move that he has.
Cutthroat. What do you do? How are you sabotaging him?
I don't know.
What's weird is that I'm looking at his college stats before turning pro this year. In college, in 3 years, only had 15 kick returns, overall 3 years, and only had 2 since his freshman year in 2022.
Dang.
And then all of a sudden now he's returning kicks in the NFL.
Hey, I mean, it's the most
tough place to be for Caleb.
Returning, catching a punt is hard. But if you have
way harder than people think.
Decent hands, you should be able to field a kickoff return. He just didn't know the rules.
That's the bigger issue.
Attention.
It's I think that if he would have caught it and it's just you get hit hard, you make a mistake. I think that might have been more forgivable to someone like Tomlin than not being prepared.
We need more context. Maybe he was jacking it up in practice all week. You gotta catch it, Caleb, and he kept letting it drop.
I swear to God, Caleb.
One more. If you do this against the Seahawks, you're done.
If you have a single mistake on special teams in week 2. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan with Brock and Salk.
This is what we've been waiting for, right? This team getting hot at the right time.
And the way the Mariners are playing right now, who am I to suggest they can't do anything, right? They're just on the kind of heater right now. I'm really glad for Mariners fans. They're trending toward what could be a very memorable October.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Has it been hot in your house this summer? Maybe worried about the cold coming in this fall and into the winter? Might be because your insulation's just not up to snuff. That was my problem. Mike Salk here, and that's why I called Crawl Pros. They came out, they did a corner-to-corner inspection of my crawl space and attic, and they fixed that problem once and for all. If your home has any damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, you're bleeding money every month to heat and cool your home, but you don't have to. And even better, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%, but you gotta act now. Many of these rebates are ending at the end of this year, including the federal incentives. Let Crawl Pros come out and properly insulate your home before the cooler fall weather comes in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm fortunate to speak with someone who underwent treatment for prostate cancer in February. Dave Wyman here, joined by Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host. Tim, how did you hear about Swedish Cyberknife?
Well, it was this familiar-sounding voice on the radio telling me about it, and so I thought I'd investigate that. Everything I heard was what I wanted to hear, and so I reached out.
What's it like to go through the Cyberknife treatment?
Well, you go in, you do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital, and it's, they say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It's just a matter of listening to music in headphones and trying your best not to move.
Looking back on your Swedish Cyberknife experience, what stood out?
It was too easy. It was just too easy. I went through it, and I just went, that's it?
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Imagine homes so well designed and so luxurious, they'll be setting the standard for decades. You're imagining a Mainview home. Now imagine a Mainview home on sale, saving $50,000 to $120,000.
Isn't that what Brett and Amy bought?
Yeah, it's a Mainview, and they saved a bundle.
What are you doing?
Looking at the Mainview website. It's now or never.
What's better than a Mainview home? A Mainview home on sale. Mainview communities across the Puget Sound.
Temperatures are dropping, but you don't have to settle for a chilly home this winter. Keep cozy and safe with energy-saving products during Washington Energy's home heating sale on now. Upgrading your home is as easy as $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 off. Take $1,000 off furnaces, fireplaces, and water heaters. $2,000 off high-efficiency heat pump systems. And $3,000 off whole home generators and ductless mini splits, plus free financing. Washington Energy Services, your expert resource for affordable home comfort. Call for a free estimate.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open, and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. When is it acceptable to put up Halloween decorations? Right now. They're at the store. That's what they're there for.
Right now?
Yeah, they're there to buy. I just bought a pumpkin the other day.
Yeah, I guess we're mid-September.
It looks weird, though, when it's 85 degrees outside.
It looks weird when it's
today.
85 degrees outside. That's what you sound like.
Well, I sound factual and correct is what I sound
There
like.
are pumpkins at the store. There's
Pumpkins are gonna
candy corn
rot in
at
this
the
kind of
store.
weather.
There's pumpkin spice lattes in Starbucks, okay?
Say
It's
October 1st.
almost sweater weather.
It's 85
They don't even
degrees
sell
today.
hydrangeas
it is
at
not sweater
QFC.
weather.
Can I make a comment about the pumpkins?
Mm-hmm.
I was in the hood the other day, and the pumpkins were left outside of Safeway in the hood. And I saw a bunch of homeless people. I go, y'all should just grab pumpkins and learn how to make something with these pumpkins. Because they're leaving them, outside. Go grab you a pumpkin and make something to eat, man. I don't know what you're going to make.
It's like, what are they
Figure
doing with
something
the
out.
pumpkin?
They just leave them out there.
You take them
Eat
and
the
then you can
seeds.
learn how to create
Something,
with
man.
them.
In the hood, too. I'm like, all right, it's free food over there, y'all.
Bumps, they're really trusting people with these pumpkins
For
right
real,
now.
man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Pumpkins are out, though.
I have always wondered that whenever I see things outside in general, I'm like, what's to stop someone from just taking one of these Christmas wreaths and being
Sure, it
like, it's
happens.
$40? I don't think so. I'm walking away with it.
That's
I've never done it, but I'm like, that's bold.
I wouldn't do it.
That's bold to just leave it out here, you know?
Yeah.
Never thought of stealing a pumpkin, though.
I mean, it's hard to prepare. I get it, but there's nutrients there for you.
866-979-3776. What I need to know. Let's see. Would you rather be... Did we ask this one? Would you rather be on The Price is Right and play a mindless game and win appliances, or go on Wheel of Fortune and risk looking dumb on an easy puzzle? Oh, so would you rather have something by luck, or where you actually have to get an answer right or make a guess right?
I go luck because I don't think I'm very good at Wheel of Fortune. So I just go luck.
The Price is Right would get me.
Price is Right is fun, though, man.
The Price is Right would mess me up, because I couldn't tell you how much a toaster is.
You might get overwhelmed too, Stacy, with all the people in the audience yelling at you.
And
what number
you
to
know that
pick.
I don't like upsetting people, and I'm a people pleaser.
Right.
And so
But you shop.
Yeah, but Amazon has made everything confusing, because I can find a toaster for $90 and I can find a toaster for $10.
Facts.
I can find a touchscreen toaster for $49.99,
How's that
and I can
working
find
out?
one for $120. It still works out great, and I
Yeah.
feel like I'm in the future.
Would you be that kind of dirty player on Price is Right, where somebody bids like $5.50 for something, you go, I'll bid $5.51?
Yes, I would. It's strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. And watching a lot of Survivor has taught me that you need to outwit, outlast, outplay. Okay.
It is just a game.
It's for $1 million.
Yeah.
How much Survivor is $1 million?
Oh,
Are you tempted to watch it now?
Sure. After I'm
You
done
get
with
$1
Animal
million.
Kingdom. After I'm done with Animal Kingdom.
I started watching it. I watched the first episode yesterday.
What'd you think?
I was very confused about 20 minutes in with a scene in the kitchen, and you can probably guess what it was. I
Yeah.
thought, what's going on here?
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like something a grandmother would do.
Yeah, it gets worse.
866-979-3776. What I need to know. Going into this away trip, how many wins do the Mariners need to finish first place in the AL West?
Curtis.
Magic number is 9.
Yes, 9.
Combo of wins and losses by the
Yeah.
Astros and Rangers. To win the AL West, let's say your 3 against Houston's part of that. Let's say sweep Houston as a recipe there, because that makes it easier.
Oh, if you sweep Houston,
That's probably it.
it's a wrap. Yeah.
So
You're-
3-3 minimum.
Yeah.
I think if you go 4-2 on this road trip, assuming that means winning the series against Houston. So I don't mean like sweep Royals, take one from Houston. I mean like you're winning both series. I think that might do it. I think it gets you into the playoffs.
Take your word for it.
Gets
One inning
pretty
at a
close to that
time.
magic number. Yeah. 866-979-3776. This isn't what they asked, but between me, Matt, and Curtis, who would you pick to go on Amazing Race with you?
Oh, Amazing Race. Doesn't
you
it
have
have
to
to be like a
you have to be
partner
good
type?
at a lot of things.
Teams of two.
Yeah, it's like co-ed, ain't it?
No, you can be sisters, you can be
It's
brothers,
just-
you
yeah,
can
any
be
teams do.
two men, two
They did
women.
a season of Complete Strangers.
Yeah, you
one
can
time.
you can do father, son, mother, daughter. You can do any combination of two people.
I'd go with Curtis, man.
Okay.
Curtis got the grit.
Wow.
Curtis has grit. I think.
I don't have
dog
grit.
in me.
I think.
That's
I think there
crazy.
might be a moment where
That's
we're
crazy.
just sitting
I
on the
hope you
road,
guys
just
get
talking.
only
I'm like, Stacy, we gotta go. We gotta go.
I have the internal clock that goes off.
That's so rude. Why would I not be a good partner on Amazing Race? Name one thing I cannot do.
You would stop and need to go to the bathroom.
That's not true.
lot.
That's not true. I drink so little water.
You'd be dehydrated. You'd be dang near fainting.
I could drink just enough to not pass out.
I just think if
I think you guys are underestimating.
If weather conditions were bad, I think it would slow you down.
Matt, you look like you want to say something.
Stacy, do you
annoying.
think you could drive through the night somewhere to get to some?
Well, then my night blindness kicks
Yeah.
in. That's where you can't drive so good in the night. In the nighttime, things get a little more.
In the dark time?
In the dark time, things get a little more confusing on the road. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Because I know if Bump and I had to get from here to somewhere 1,000 miles away, and we could only do it between the hours of like 11 p.m. and
driven
6
at
a.m., we would
night
do it.
before.
We're grinding it out.
And gotten
Yeah.
there. Okay?
Believe you.
Me and Matt would win it. We would play opposite you two, and we would come in first every single time. Right, Matt?
I don't think we make it out of the first challenge because I don't want to do it, and you would be dehydrated.
Matt would be like, we're done. Hour in.
No, Matt
we're
would give
done.
up on me.
I'm
They'd
good.
be like, so your first challenge here, and he'd go, ugh.
Challenges are not really my thing. I just don't want
I feel like you'd also make your partner stop at like a convenience store to pick up snacks and like a magazine to read on all the trips. It's like, we gotta go.
I'm
This
just
is for $1
sightseeing.
million.
Did you see these over here? Look
Yeah.
at these plants. Look at these plants they got. I didn't know they sold those in a grocery store.
Oh, man.
That's crazy. All Mariners from 1 to 2. Shannon Drayer joins us next for the Dugout.
The one and only Mark Schlereth. Every Monday at 4 during the NFL season with Wyman and Bob.
They did it in a fairly dominant fashion out there in Pittsburgh. How surprising is that to you?
You saw some growth, right? You saw some, a little bit better offense, a little bit better, both combination of running the ball and tying your play action in together on that stuff. So those things to me were good.
Get every can't miss conversation on Seattle sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed. which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license, unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a month and bill credits plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling September 29th. Free good-to-go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
Step into Seahawks game day at the Pro Shop, where the roar of the 12s begins. And official Seahawks gear is always within reach.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
This is the Pro Shop. Visit the official store of the Seattle Seahawks, located at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton.
Ooh, that face. Quantum Fiber Internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum Fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of the video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum Fiber Internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners begin their final road trip of the regular season today with a series opener against the Kansas City Royals. Logan Gilbert on the mound. Pregame show starts at 3:30 p.m. First pitch at 4:40 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This is The Dugout, every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy. Inside access to the clubhouse from Shannon Drayer on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Shannon, how's it going?
Going. It was good to have the off day and really excited to be in Kansas City and see what happens tonight.
We already know the goal of this road trip is very obviously to be more successful than they have been for the last 2. We're going to preview this Houston series a ton, so why not just start with Kansas City here? What can we expect from this Royals team?
Well, you expect a team that they were fighting in it up until about a week ago, and now they're in kind of a bad spot. They've fallen 5-6 back, and that's not where you want to be with so few games remaining. So I think there might be a little bit of disappointment for them, but I think that there's also that bit of, let's fight to the end on this one. Let's build towards next year. So I don't think that it's going to be a rollover series at all in any way, shape, or form. They're just coming in from the road, so they'll be a little bit tired in that regard. But it should be a favorable matchup for the Mariners.
We were trying to figure out what pressure feels like for these guys, and Stacy and I were talking about how we think that because they're playing so well, obviously there is pressure that they should be more confident than feeling pressure. How do you think this team is feeling going into the road trip?
I think they're feeling really good, and they're trying to avoid that pressure at all costs. Cal Raleigh had some really interesting comments on Sunday in that they were playing loose, and it's not something that just happened. It was something that, they decided they needed to do, and it sounded like they did, kind of get some thoughts, get some, he called, get some of that micromanaging out of your head, definitely get anything individual out of your head, and just go out there and play like you've got nothing to lose right now. And I think that is the play that we have seen. And it obviously, when you're winning, that can be a product of that. They're feeling good, which is also leading to the winning. But I think that it's also a point of the season where momentum is so important. So they have that momentum right now. They have the best momentum of anybody. I guess Texas has been pretty good too, but they're in a much better spot. So I think they're feeling really good about where they're at. And I don't think it hurts that they saw some good pitching performances at home, and they saw great bullpen performances. So if they had any questions about that, I think they feel better about it as they head out on the road.
While the Mariners begin this series against the Royals, the Rangers and Astros are going to face off for Game 2 of their series. Is there an outcome here Mariners fans are kind of hoping for?
Yeah, I think it's a tough one, and I think in some ways you always want to root against the Astros, but that's what you have control over. So it's right in front of you. So I do think that perhaps, and because they have been such a hot team, and we were just talking about that a second ago, knocking out the Rangers and just having that one singular focus in front of you might not be a bad thing. I think probably maybe having Houston win 2 and have Texas win 1, maybe that's the ideal. But obviously, the number one thing that you want to see is the Mariners continue to win, and them being the ones who put the pressure on.
Yeah. Are you in the press box right now?
I am, and somebody apparently needs practice counting.
It sounds like there's like a Count Chocula situation happening behind you, where I'm like, we're all counting. 1, 2.
I think we're done.
What's Polanco, number 7?
I think so.
7?
Right?
Let's talk about number 7. Polanco.
Doubles?
What? He's hot. He's shown us throughout the season. At the beginning of the season, he's hot. He cooled down a little bit. How important is his performance during this road trip? And has he talked about if he's doing anything different, what his mental is like, his whole approach?
Yeah, he's not one who likes to talk about how he's doing it, and I've been trying to get to him to even talk about it. He's not someone who likes to sit down and break it down. He will talk after games. He'll talk on the field, but not the long, really get into what he's doing. And I'm going to give it another shot because he is doing some things that are a little bit different. What's really worked for him this year is, A, he's been healthy. B, he's not striking out as much as he has been the last couple of years. And then the real interesting thing is because he hasn't been a big strikeout guy throughout the years. And what he is mostly doing right now is going back to what he has done at his peak. But there's one thing that's different. He's hitting the ball harder than he has ever hit it before. And so if you're not missing and you're hitting the ball harder, good things are going to happen. And his approach, he is a guy that will stay up the middle. He's good with both swings right now, which is fantastic. But to see the doubles and what he has been doing with that, I think tells you where his head is, that he is sticking with his approach. If the homer comes, the homer comes. But he's hitting the ball where he wants to in the parts of the ballpark where he wants to. And I was so happy to see Dan Wilson move him up in the lineup because he has been your most dependable hitter of late and at different times of the season. And throughout the season, even when he has struggled, unless he's been in, the deepest and darkest of struggles, is almost guaranteed to give you a good plate appearance. So we are seeing, the best version of Jorge Polanco at the plate plus right now, and hopefully he can carry that through. And I would say very important because that right now, he's been all over the lineup. Initially he was at the top of the lineup, then he found himself kind of in the middle, and then he was struggling. He was down 7. I think he even hit 8th once, and they've slowly moved him back. The last couple of games he's been hitting cleanup, and you just feel good about wherever he is. So that's a bat that you can inject in there if you need it. Higher in the lineup. They've gone to that, and they've scored some runs.
I know Logan wasn't especially happy with, I want to say his maybe second most recent outing where he allowed a lot of base runners and then was able to get out of those innings. I personally was impressed with just the ability to grind some of those out, but I'm sure he's got some different goals in mind for tonight's start. What do you think that he's going to be focusing on today, outside of getting strikes, obviously?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is innings, and the strikes have been there. The strikeout percentage has been huge for him this year. I haven't checked in the last few days, but he was atop the league in strikeouts per 9 for a good amount of time, and the swing and miss has been there for him as well. And I think that, in talking to people, I think that there are times when he gets a little bit predictable or he isn't as on with a pitch that is more around the zone. And at that point, they're able to eliminate some pitches or foul them off. And that's how he gets into trouble. So you just want him to be at his peak best this time of the year, feel good about all of his pitches. We've seen his splitter very good in recent weeks. We've also seen it a little bit off. We've seen the command a little bit off here and there. But by and large, he has been able to get the job done without much damage. The big problem is that you just like him to go a little bit deeper in the ball game. And what I would like to see from him in his last couple of starts is just really see that fierce Logan Gilbert, the number 1 type guy. And I think we saw some glimpses of that the last time. You just want to see him as intimidating as he was all of last year at some point as they go into the postseason. I think we've seen just about everything we need to see from him. You just need to put it together. And I think that he just needs to, in some games, just kind of come up with the right combo and the right, knowing what the others are looking for from him and the ability to get out of those at-bats a little bit quicker.
What's Rivas's, what's Rivas's role towards the end of this season? How important is it? What do you expect from him? And what have you seen so far?
I think he's important because we did see a pretty significant fade from Cole Young over the last month. And so we're not seeing him at second base as much, and that gives you the flexibility where he can play second base and Polanco can DH, or Polanco can go out there and you can put Rivas somewhere else if you need to, or, to give somebody a break. And again, this is a guy who has always given the good plate appearance, that he is a guy that has not struck out a lot, and he's hitting the ball harder. He did some things when he was down in AAA for that long stretch after he was first up this year. And I think it's too soon to know if it's real or not. But 2 home runs from him, and I'm not looking for him to be a home run hitter, but solid line drives are a good thing to see off of his bat. So it was one of the reasons why, and I think we were all looking at each other when he was called up to the plate in extra innings on the homestand with the game on the line. We were all anticipating the bunt, and with the pitcher that was on the hill and what Rivas had been doing earlier, what they'd seen from him earlier, Dan Wilson felt very confident in letting him swing away, and they were rewarded with that. So, he'll give you that opportunity to get guys the days off if they need it. They, of course, are coming off a day off right now. I don't think JP's going to need one. He got 2 in a row coming off the last off day, and we're finally seeing a bunch of off days. We'll have another one when they get home. But if that is there, they can do that. Or if you need a defensive replacement late, he can do that. He can steal a base if need be, too, or just be a good base runner out there. But I think you primarily see him in the lineup right now because he is one of the hotter hands, dependable plate appearances, and very dependable in the field.
We guessed it was just to get a couple more ABs, but any clarification on why Colt Emerson is with Tacoma?
No, and I think, it might also be partly a reward situation for him, in that he has had a good year. I know they're very excited about what he did at AA, so I think they're just keeping him going. I don't know if this is it for him this year or if there's a fall ball situation. I wouldn't be surprised if this is it for him this year, but I do think it was just, the opportunity to reward a little bit and fill a need at the same time.
What do you feel about we're trying to make sense of the road, right? All right, why did they not play so great on the road? Stacy pointed out on August 15th.
Oh, yeah, they were 31-30.
31-30. Who are they really? Are they the team that struggled on the road as of late, or do you think that they could be the team that we saw early in August? And what do you think it is about the road that makes these guys struggle a bit?
Well, they are what they are right now. So as much as I'd like them to be what they were in the first half when they won 9 series and lost 5, you have to go with what they have been of late right now. Do they have an opportunity to do what they did before? Yes, I think so, and I think that all comes down to the pitching. I think the pitching is what's let them down the most on the road, and I think as kind of a byproduct of that, as they started losing games, I do think it did start spiraling a little bit, and you did get guys at the plate getting a little off track and not passing the baton and perhaps pressing a little bit. So I think the biggest thing that you want to see right now on the road is we want to see the same pitching that we saw in Seattle on the road, which, and that is a challenge because the ballpark in Seattle is built for the Mariners, but it shouldn't be as extreme. The split shouldn't be as extreme as it has been. So you hope that the starters, can build off the good starts that they had. And the bullpen I don't even know what to make of what we saw from them at home and actually on that in the winning streak, which started in Atlanta. They went to complete shutdown mode, and I do know that they were asked to be a little bit more aggressive out there, but they are all feeling good right now, and you hope they're able to get off to that good start tonight in this game, and that you do see better pitching. I don't know that you need to match what you saw at home, but you certainly need to see better than what you've seen on the last 2 road trips.
She is Mariners insider Shannon Drayer. Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon.
You got it, guys.
Coming up next, how much would it cost to re-sign Josh Naylor? The latest from Jeff Passan on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
They're baseball's hottest team.
Cal Raleigh will score. Here comes Julio. He's racing home around third. He's going to score standing. 2 more on the board for the Mariners.
Winners of 9 in a row.
Strike 3 called. Got him. Fire. George Kirby, strikeout number 13.
Up next, the first of 3 in Kansas City. Tonight, first pitch at 4:40. Pregame at 3:30.
Everybody on their feet.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Love and respect aren't just policies. They're what make the Lee Johnson Auto family feel like home.
The best managers are really good observers and communicators. Listen to your team, whatever they have to say, even if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. For me, that's kind of everything. I like to have my team feel like they're part of something. They can contribute to the growth of this place.
The Lee Johnson culture to me is empowering all of your employees to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
For me personally, started with Brett and Todd. They identified, what their core values were about, and in turn that drew people with similar core values to him. It's why my dad wanted to come back here. When he got to a certain point in his career that just the paycheck and the financial statements were not fulfilling enough for him, he wanted to get back to where it was a family.
The LJ Way is The Lee Johnson Auto family.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
The latest from Jeff Passan, who spoke with Brock and Salk earlier this morning about how much it would cost to re-sign Josh Naylor, where the Royals are at right now, kind of how the Mariners are trending, what Jorge Polanco's influence has meant, just a lot to get to here. Let's start, though, with looking at the latest on, I think Naylor is the most interesting one to me. Jeff was asked about what a contract could look like.
I think Naylor, in my head, as somebody who just loves the player and loves the all-around game now, didn't think I would ever be saying that about Josh Naylor, but loves the lack of strikeouts, the bat to ball, the ability to drive in runs, but he's a corner bat without elite power. So in my head, I want to say 4 for 80, right? 20 a year for 4 years. You get him for 2 seasons in his 20s. There's real allure to that.
Would you make that deal? 20 a year?
I would.
I know you would.
I would. Because for me, it's deeper than just the bat. Obviously, that's huge.
I agree. It feels like it's something he's been something they've been missing.
Yeah, you got to put bat on the ball and drive runs in and do all that good stuff. Defensively, he's been better than what I thought he was going to be too. But there are some other characteristics that he brings to the team, like you mentioned, that no one else on this team has. This griminess, this grittiness, but then also there's a kind side to him too. There's a bunch of layers to Naylor, and I think that when you're putting a team together, obviously you have to have talent, but you have to have the right mix of personalities, and I think he fits perfectly.
I agree with you. It feels like at first I didn't know what to make of him. I was like, I know he can be a really exciting player. He's going to have a career high in stolen bases, and I would guess doesn't easily repeat that moving forward. But for this year, it's been really electric and cool. So you're getting him at kind of a cool time in his career. But what's the fit like? Like the first several days he was here, I was like, he looks like he hates it.
Right.
He looks like he hates it here. But then warms up quite a bit. I think he's just a serious dude. Like he's just intense. And otherwise, like, maybe that intensity, and it's not like an in-your-face intensity, though he has had those moments. It's just a seriousness that I think every team needs. So I dig it.
Take my job serious.
Jeff Passan asked whether the Mariners can catch the Tigers right now in that second spot.
And the way the Mariners are playing right now, who am I to suggest they can't do anything, right? Like, they're just on the kind of heater right now. It reminds me a little bit of Detroit last year. And I know the Tigers or the Mariners this year were not as bad as the Tigers were last year at one point, but they were down bad like the Tigers were. I look at the schedules, man, and while there's certainly an advantage that the Mariners have playing Colorado for 3 games and a pretty decent advantage that they have playing Kansas City, even though Kansas City is getting healthy, and then Houston, having Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez, that's rough. And you have no idea what the Dodgers are going to be doing. If they've clinched at that point, are they going to be sitting guys down? The Tigers, on the other hand, they have 6 games against Cleveland. They have 3 games against a pretty, mediocre at best Atlanta team, and then they finish the season with 3 in Boston.
I felt the same way Mike did after that one, and it's the same way I felt yesterday when we were talking about Cleveland. I feel like Cleveland can be better. Like, they can be a little feisty. That being said, he's right. They've got it in order. 3 against the Guardians beginning today, then 3 against the Braves, closing out with 3 against the Guardians, 3 against the Red Sox. That's the rest of their schedule. They are 3 games ahead of Seattle right now. Now, Seattle has the Rockies still to play. You've got the Royals right now. Those are 2 very beatable opponents. Granted, the Royals going to be on the road. You got Houston. That's tougher than any team that the Tigers are going to be playing, and you have the Dodgers, tougher than any team the Tigers are going to be playing. So I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's probable.
Yeah, you need Cleveland to handle business. That's what you need. Cleveland to handle business, Atlanta to tap into something that they've been able to every now and then Boston to play like they have during a stretch or two during this season. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not counting on it, though. I'm not counting on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of just like hoping, because it would be cool. I'm with you, though. I don't see the Tigers stumbling that much, not when Seattle has 2 tougher opponents down the stretch. Big opportunities here to hang on to the West and continue to build that lead, but that 2nd seed, I don't know as much about that one. All right, let's get back to a little bit about Naylor. If you guys remember, this was a cut that was making the rounds earlier. Jerry DiPoto, this was on MLB Trade Rumors, the podcast, asked about a possible Naylor extension.
Yeah, I think we would, and that remains to be seen how Josh feels about the matter. But it's never easy when you're in a playoff race to open discussions like that. But I know that there is interest on our end, and I believe that there is interest on Josh's end. And, that's part of the calculus, is when you acquire players like that. And, we did this with Gino Suarez. We did it with Jesse Winker. Just a number of guys through the years, some that worked out better than others over time. But, I think Josh is enjoying his time here. He's actually, as good as anybody that's played in the last handful of years at hitting in this ballpark. And it doesn't seem to bother him much. And, we'll see if there's an interest in sticking around as a Mariner.
Yeah, for Josh Naylor, I don't know what you're talking about, Teo, with that batter's eye. I don't know what you're talking about, Jesse Winker. I'm raking at T-Mobile. This is a great place to hit.
Hey, it's all about your comfort zone. Some guys like it here. Most guys don't like it here. Some guys do for some reason in Josh Naylor. Even if it's just, athletes play games with their minds sometimes. Even if he's just psyching himself out to make them believe, he plays like it. So if the money's right, if the feel is right, and if you get into the playoffs and win a series or two, and he feels like this team can continue to win, your chances go up.
All right, let's talk about what to expect from the Royals this series. Here's Jeff.
I don't think they think that they have a shot, because I think they're, frankly, being realistic. And if you look at the Royals, guys, it's a marvel they are where they are, considering that their ace, Cole Reagans, has been on the injured list most of the season with a shoulder injury. Their all-star Chris Bubich out for the season with a shoulder injury. The guy who they signed right before the trade deadline, Seth Lugo, on the injured list. Their number 4 starter, Michael Wacha, who's been awesome this year, on the injured list. And so they're running out of rotation right now that, frankly, just has like a bunch of rookies and Michael Lorenzen.
So, again, you're catching them at a good time. They're really, really struggling. They're probably not seeing themselves as very serious contenders in any way, but the game's the game. And by that, I mean no team is going to roll over and give up.
No. They're going to go out there and they're going to fight, and they're going to try to perform. They're going to try to hit meatballs if you serve them up. They're going to make diving plays in the outfield. There's no giving up, and especially in baseball. Imagine what giving up looks like in baseball. You're just out there not running stuff down. You're not hustling the bases. Like, it's so.
Yeah, we might see it against the Rockies in that first home.
It's just so apparent and embarrassing that it's so unprofessional.
When a team is given up.
Yeah, you can tell.
It doesn't happen.
In football, guys can hide and give up a little bit. There's so much going on, but not in baseball. These are pros, man. They're gonna go out there and do what they're supposed to do.
I think sometimes you can see in any sport when a guy individually has kind of given up for a game. Usually, I would imagine he's always called out on it.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you're out of this thing.
Kim, don't lie. Remember the kid who stopped running hard against from Bama? He stopped running hard. His other side of the field stopped running hard. People talked about that for a week because it's so.
People get offended by that.
It's so evident when you do it in sports. Like it's embarrassing, and it looks even worse if you were to attempt it in baseball.
What are your expectations? Fair expectations for this series? A sweep?
Nah, I'm going 2 games. I'm sticking with my 4-2.
Curtis, is it a fair thing to expect a sweep? Mariners are a playoff team right now, first place in the AL
Expect
West.
a sweep of the Royals?
Royals are out of it.
I don't think that's a fair expectation.
Because you don't believe.
I mean, the Royals aren't technically out of it. They need to win darn near
out of it,
every game the rest of the way. But
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, Kauffman Stadium has just some bad juju around it.
stuff.
I don't know what it is about that stadium.
How about this one? Do we see Jorge Polanco hit another double today?
For sure.
Curtis?
For sure.
Another double for Jorge?
Definitely.
I say a triple.
Why not both?
Why not the cycle?
Why not the cycle?
I've always said that. Just why not hit for the cycle? Sure. All right. Still to come on the dugout. All Mariners from 1 to 2 talking about the first place Seattle Mariners as they push for the playoffs. Again, they're opening a series beginning today. You don't even have to wait that long. It's coming up at 4:40 against the Kansas City Royals, as Curtis mentioned, at Kauffman Stadium. A tough one there, and we have some tough memories, but hopefully this one ends up getting right for them on that road trip. Alex Mayer is going to join us at 1:45. We're going to talk about what was behind and what has been behind this 9 consecutive game winning streak, a special look at the pitching staff. Before we get to that, Ryan Rowland-Smith joins us next on the dugout, your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The Mike McDonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
What was different in the game this week? I think we're learning how to win those types of games where you face adversity, and we need to keep learning how to do that. And I think we're gaining confidence on the team that we think that we can be and taking advantage of opportunities that come our way.
The Mike McDonald Show. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com.
With football season comes colder weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here with Keith Dashafeet from locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. So Keith, what's your next big play?
Well, Steve, right now get 40% off qualifying installs or no payments and no interest for 12 months on approved credit.
Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
The ballpark is rocking like 2001. Let us clear up your allergies so you can enjoy more of each game. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
It's the biggest car giveaway in the Northwest. We're giving away 30 cars in 30 days, September 1st through 30th. Mustang Madness at Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, Tacoma and Fife. Get one free entry daily. Earn additional entries just by playing your favorite games. Drawings every day at Tacoma and Fife. It's 30 cars in 30 days in September. Mustang Madness, only at Emerald Queen Casino and Hotel, Tacoma and Fife. The entertainment capital of the Northwest, where excitement lives. Visit emeraldqueen.com for details.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Construction. It was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, PCF Group.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Ladies
ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Ryan's weekly visit brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Always fun to talk about a team in a massive win streak. So
yes,
pretty good. The bullpen has obviously been massive during this homestand. What have you seen from them?
Just, I mean, some of the guys who, you know, you wouldn't think so much to bridge that gap, I think have really stepped up. And situations where it's the highest of, highest leverage situations you can be in. Look, you look at it and say, all right, the Cardinals and the Angels in regards to offense and the mailed it in, it doesn't matter. I mean, just especially in those extra inning games, I think that was massive. Covering that 8 1/3, I think it was a couple nights ago, was just so huge. And it just allows, the other thing it allows too, on kind of in more of a reverse order, it allows Dan Wilson to, if he needs to, if he sees something from his starting pitcher where he's more comfortable in a 5th or 6th inning, to lean on one of these guys. It makes such a difference. So you don't have to, so overexpose one of these guys. But you don't want that ever. But I think we saw that with that first start from Kirby on the homestand before he went out and punched out 14. And then even Logan Gore, the guy who's pitching tonight, it was a sense of urgency because it's the time of year, and you had the bullpen step up. So that was huge.
What do you think about how Dan and the rest of the group has been just shuffling the lineup? I mean, you got to get guys some looks, right? You got Dom, you got Robles, you have Rivas. How do you feel about the way that they've been utilizing the talent that they do have?
Well, we thought, right after the trade deadline, you felt like there wasn't going to be a whole lot of movement in regards to how the lineup was. Cole Young has struggled. We know that. So it's now all of a sudden a situation where you take a Polanco away from the DH role and put him at second base, which he's been doing, and you can shuffle that way a little bit. So that's kind of, being a necessity, I think, getting Cole Young out of there. I think, confidence right now at the moment, his approach is not great. He's probably a little bit low at the moment. So that's been the one situation, I think, where when you look at underperformers, especially in this homestand where they just went off, that's the one little shuffle. Besides that, I mean, the fact that you're looking at the lineup with a Polanco who's the guy who you have to get through before you get to that 8th and 9th hitter, and then all of a sudden you got a J.P. Crawford went deep the other night, and then he's had the at-bats he's had, whether it be lefties or righties. It just makes for such a tough lineup. And so I think that in regards to the shuffling going on, any of it is just purely because you have a situation where Cole Young, who you thought was going to be, in this time of year, hoping that he was going to, be the guy at this time. But again, sense of urgency. He's just not producing at the moment for whatever reason. And you have a situation where you can get Polanco to slide in second base, and then the rest can kind of fall from there.
I was listening to Brock and Salk this morning, and Brock was talking to Jeff, and Jeff was going to have an essay on Cal, and said, hey, don't forget to focus on, like, the beating that Cal takes and kind of like Cal the catcher. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to ask Ryan about that. But what I can ask Ryan is, as a pitcher, what makes for a good catcher? Like, what makes for a great relationship there, and what do you find that, whether something you actually appreciated or guys that really appreciate from someone in that role?
Oh, man, how much time we got on this interview?
I mean, many minutes.
I can go on and on.
We don't see that, right? Like, it's such a rare experience, and you've got firsthand experience with it.
Yeah, it's it makes such a massive difference. There was days, whether you go, even when you're going really, really well, it's easier when you're going really, really well to, adjust to someone else behind the dish. But if you're in a situation where 80% of your starts, you're going to be trying to, you're still trying to find something. And then you go in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, get off the bus and roll in, and you look at the lineup and go, oh, okay, my guy's behind the dish. Great. The guy who I trust and who I've had that camaraderie with or that conversation with that just puts me in a really good, headspace. So the relationship that the catcher has, verbal, nonverbal, is everything. It's everything. And there's just so many layers to that. The way you communicate, how comfortable you are, expressing a certain situation in a game, or you get to the 5th inning, it's the 3rd time you're facing the guy, and then boom, the pitch he calls is exactly the one that you're like not hoping for, but the one that you're in the back of your mind, you already sort of preset the one you want to get after this guy with, or you want to attack a guy a certain way, and you feel really confident about attacking a guy. Like for me, the hard thing was sliders down and into righties who can get to pitches on the inside half of the plate. I remember there were certain catches that made me feel like that pitch, whatever they said, it wasn't like, hey, your slider's really good, go get him. It was just a verbal and nonverbal way of expressing that if you can land this pitch, man, you're golden. The best they're going to do is hit that ground ball to third base. On the flip side, there's the whatever the words are, the translation where it's, hey, man, I have to be perfect on this pitch. Or if I go change up down and away, there's a very good chance that this pitch, if it's not perfect, they're going to get their hands extended and crush it. And there's just, again, that's that conversation you have obviously in your head, but your first point of contact is the catcher. So it makes such a massive difference. And then on top of that too, how the guys receive, how they, pull strikes back in the strike zone, the steal pitches, how it sounds when it hits the glove, how they're firm on that hand. I've had guys that, man, it feels like you're throwing to a fluffy pillow. It's the absolute worst. And then you got your guy who goes, spam, they just stick that one pitch. You land that pitch that you're a little bit on the fence about, and they just go boom and land that pitch. And they give you this kind of this nonverbal back to you as if to say, hey, man, that was legit.
Yeah, and pat on the back from afar.
Exactly. So all that goes into it, man. And it's one of these ones, too, where Cal, you have a situation where he's having this historic season. His head can get taken off with, his headspace can get taken away with how amazing he is, and everyone tell him how brilliant he is, and he can, sort of dismiss some of those important things that we just talked about. But he doesn't. That's priority number one for him, and it's really refreshing. And I know that anytime I sat down with Bryce Miller just the other day, and he just kept saying, hey, well, with Cal, when he says this and Cal says that, it just tells you that even when a guy like Bryce Miller, who's feeling his way through the season, he can lean on a guy like Cal Raleigh. It has nothing to do with hitting 50-plus homers. So it's really refreshing when you hear that.
Is Cal to a place where no one's ever going to shake him off? You think that there's that much trust in his process and what he does that we won't see anything like that?
I don't think it's to that point. You got to be comfortable being able. Here's the thing, man. Like, there are certain guys, whether I've played with who's been behind the plate 60 feet away, or guys who I've played against, and I've heard there's like, if you shake them off, there's this. All of a sudden, it's kind of like, it's this hindrance on the relationship or whatever it may be in regards to why are you second guessing what I'm putting down. I don't think Cal does that. Even Logan Evans, everyone thought Logan Evans on that debut, shook Cal, and Cal got all upset. He didn't. He just knew he needed a breather. And he went out there and he talked it through and said, hey, man, the reason I'm going for this pitch is this. It's not this attitude where it's like, no, I know exactly what's going on. I don't care what your weak link is. If this pitch is your third best pitch, I don't care because this is what we're calling. You can't have that. And even as the game goes on, man, you get 50 pitches into a game, the scouting report, whatever you did, you preset for how you're going to attack these hitters, that changes because that one breaking ball might be better, or that, man, I'm owning the inside half of the plate. And so a guy like, for Cal Raleigh, obviously he's going along with the rhythm of your game and what you're doing. And if there's a situation where it's the 5th, 6th inning, he calls a pitch and you just straight, boom, shake, and he goes to something else, you guys both have to be okay with that. And you got to know that he understands why. But if he presses that button again when you shake, like fastball in, no, fastball in, he has to come out and explain. It's a situation you have to trust the fact that there's some reason why, and it's not because, hey, I know everything. It's like, no, this is what I've seen, and your confidence goes through the roof when you hear that, or you understand that. So that's a little bit of the nuance with the shaking off with a guy like Cal.
I hear Logan and Cal have like a maybe halfway tongue-in-cheek and halfway serious kind of tracker of like who got the wrong call on something, or maybe like, you know, Logan really wants to do something, can't quite nail it, and try to see who's right.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's. I think honestly, I think he has a pretty similar relationship with a lot of those guys. But look, him and Cal have known each other since they were just babies and able. I mean, that's where that comes from. Man, I'm telling you, there was one catcher, not as well known. His name was Adam Moore, who, if he was behind the plate when I was pitching, like we got along. Yeah, we would just joke around way too much. We're in spring training one time, and we're in the middle of a game. It was just I remember because Ryan Dempster was pitching for the Cubs and I was pitching for the Mariners, and we were just rolling through outs. And it got to a point where I could see him giggling behind the mask because we were just messing around way too much. And I said to him, hey, man, listen, April, if you're behind the plate, cannot do this because I don't want to get the giggles.
I'm not going to be able to stay serious.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, I know this is happening now, and like I'm landing pitches and whatnot. This is not what I want to do when the lights are on. I'm telling you right now. And then there was a time I remember, April, I finally got in a bit of a rhythm, and he did something like an inside joke behind the plate. And I looked at him, I just put my head down. I was like, no, stopping this right now. Because there's
get me in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan's Weekly Visit brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
See ya. Sometimes I've always wondered that. Like, if you ever have you have inside jokes with coworkers all the time.
Yeah.
If there's ever a moment in an actual game where someone's just been like, now I'm just laughing internally. You'd have to be way up. You'd have to be no pressure situation
when
in
I was
an
in
actual
high
game
school,
to think that.
I used to line up as a tight end sometimes next to my my other buddy who was a tight end. And we just say the most random thing to the guy over us. Like, we're going to and start laughing. And then, So that's when you're up 25 in the fourth.
I was going to say, that's when you can afford a joke. Alex Mayer joins us next on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Wyman and Bob, every afternoon at 2.
You're looking at all the websites and all the baseball stories out there, and you couldn't get away from Judge hitting 2 home runs and Judge tying Joe DiMaggio. And I couldn't help but wonder, is Cal slipping in the MVP race?
Cal needs to have a big surging couple of weeks here to drag some of that conversation back, to create that narrative talking about how valuable the catcher is. And I 1,000% agree with him.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, only on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports on YouTube.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by 2 of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. So, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more. He's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More.
Fast internet speeds. Got the geeks to go big. Bring him the games.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantum fiber's on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service and speed in select locations only.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. lawyers trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or a service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Alex Mayer joining us now in the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. And Alex, the number 9 is important to this Mariners team for 2 reasons. What's going on?
Yeah, 9-game winning streak. I don't think the Mariners have lost since I last talked to you guys a week ago. Nice. And then the magic number is 9. So for those that, for those that don't know, magic number is basically a combined number between Mariners wins and then the team who they're competing against for a playoff spot losses. And right now that's 9 for a playoff spot, 11 for an AL West division title. So I'm really excited going to our last 12 games or so.
I'm excited too, man, and I'm excited after this home stand. There's some things that haven't been done before when it comes to this pitching staff and the bullpen. There's a big number, 62. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Yeah, the Mariners pitching staff struck out 62 Los Angeles Angels during the 4-game series. It was actually the most strikeouts during a 3 or 4-game series in Major League history, and that was on the heels of Brian Wu and George Kirby's career high tying strikeout performances. It was amazing to see, and baseball's been going on for 150 years or so. So anytime you say most or best in MLB history, it's pretty special.
Have there been, obviously from Mariners Stats and Info, there's a lot of stats you track throughout the course of the season. Is there one that you're just kind of waiting on the moment to talk about, maybe a Mariners player or the Mariners as a team or kind of close to it?
Oh, that's a good one. Off the top of my head, I guess Cal Raleigh. One of them is that, obviously you talk the home runs, but I think people are kind of, overlooking what a complete season he's put together, and we've talked about it on this show. But Cal's closing in on, he just got to 100 runs scored. So he's already at 100 runs scored, 100 RBI, something that hasn't been done by a catcher since 1999. But then he's also closing in on 100 walks. So I think a 100 RBI, 100 run, 100 walk season. It's only been accomplished by 2 catchers ever and none since the 70s. So that's kind of one I've been waiting on. That's off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of others, but that's one I've definitely looked at that's kind of flown under the radar.
If only you could add 100 steals, Bump. That'd be a single season record, I think.
What is a single season record for steals?
Definitely.
By a catcher,
Ricky
sure.
Ricky Henderson got to 130. So there you go.
Crazy.
Every time he was
he was
man.
different.
Yeah.
He was different, man. Yeah.
Feel different. He would tell you about it too.
I mean, give Josh Naylor a couple more months here.
Oh goodness, wow. So, I don't know if Naylor will get there in his career.
Give him time.
Tell me about Victor Robles. You got something cool there?
Yeah, so Victor obviously came back from the injury, spark plug type player, energizer, then unfortunately got suspended, was waiting it out. But Mariners have won 12 consecutive games in which Victor Robles has appeared. I felt like it was too good not to share. So they won a handful of games between August 24th and 27th when he came back. Then he got suspended. We couldn't win a game on the road last trip, as we all remember too well. But then he came back on September 6th, and we haven't lost since. We've ripped off the winning streak. So we're going for 13 straight win tonights with Victor Robles playing.
Now that's science, and I can't fight that. But kind of within the frame of players that just add a little something extra, or maybe just have a certain vibe. Is there another player on this team that you think, man, this player brings a ton of energy? Which is something obviously being around this clubhouse, in the clubhouse, around the team all the time. There are just things you see and feel that other people don't. And I'm wondering if there's someone who just has a presence that you think this club is really benefiting from.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll go Edward Bizzardo. He's one of the most positive, kind guys, and then I think most importantly, he's really performed. He's been really good this season. I think going into the year, you look at okay, we got Munoz, we got Brash, who's kind of our third guy, and while it's been kind of a combo of Bizzardo, Vargas, and Spire as that third dominant arm in the bullpen, especially lately, I think Bizzardo's really surprised some people because his first couple years with us, maybe didn't go as well as we would have hoped for, whatever, but he's been so good with a sub-3 ERA. Seems like Bizzardo's pitching practically every single day. So I'll go Edward Bizzardo on the pitching side.
Bizzardo, huh? All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Random question. Chicago Bears are 0-2. How you feeling about that?
Oh, man. Bump, why do you have to do this to me? I wanted to talk Mariners. 9-game winning streak. I don't know. I'm here to talk baseball, and that's my official statement for the day.
Because I know if the Bears were 2-0, Alex would be like, now listen, we're going to talk about Mariners, but we got to first
Oh, gosh. I would probably have some kind of If the Bears were 2-0, I would somehow tie Caleb Williams to Caleb Ferguson, and we would all be happy.
What's your Mount Rushmore of all-time Chicago athletes?
Oh, goodness. Walter Payton, easy. I'll go Frank Thomas and Ernie Banks for the two Chicago baseball teams. And then, obviously, Michael Jordan. So there's my Mount Rushmore.
I was waiting. I know he ain't skipping Jordan.
I should have just said Chicago.
No,
people, so
I feel like save the best for last.
Yeah.
I mean, Walter Payton, Sweetness is my guy. So breaking on the show, I'll tell you this. I don't think anyone knows this. The 34 and all my handles, my email, etc. It's for Sweetness, Walter Payton.
We'll keep that in mind when we're trying to hack into anything that
Just
might require
everybody.
a password. We're there's probably a 34 in there. Just keep working through it. We're gonna find the stats. We're gonna get these stats.
There
Hey,
you
speaking
go.
of,
There you go.
Jorge Polanco is just raking when it comes to
Yeah.
extra base hits. He cannot stop hitting doubles.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 10 doubles over his last 7 games. He's doubled in each of those 7 games. It's tied for the longest streak in Mariners history with Jim Presley 40 years ago. Yeah, 1986, so 39 years ago. So I'm looking for Polo to set the franchise record tonight against the Royals. Hopefully he can get a double in 8 straight.
Okay, so this next one, 8, sets a new record.
Yes. He's at 7 right now, tied for the record, and 8 would set the record.
I'm feeling optimistic. Curtis has been telling us about Kaufman all day long, being like, you can get some extra base hits here. It's going to happen for Polo.
And I mean, earlier in the season, we set a record for most team doubles in a game. The win we had at Citi Field. So Mariners have been doubling a lot more than we have in previous years.
Is Cal getting tired of the curtain call? Like, what do we have planned for Kyle?
That's the thing. You got to keep
down?
doing it. Good question.
I mean, I've never been an athlete at a high level, but I would assume you don't get tired of those curtain calls, right? I mean, hit number 54, which tied Mickey Mantle for most by a switch hitter in a season, and then I think the next 3 are big, right? If you can get to the 56, it would tie Ken Griffey Jr. for most by a Mariner in a season, and then 57 I think would be the huge one if he could pass Griffey, which I fully anticipate he will. Because it's Cal, that would be really something. And then we're flirting with 60 at that point, and I don't know how you keep the MVP away from him if he gets to 60.
How do you like the odds of one of those home runs coming in this series against Kansas City? Like, I know that we look at the Crawford boxes, when you get out to Houston, but I'm curious about whether it can happen in the first 3 games. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it will. I think, you guys know we always play funky series in Kansas City, so I think the Royals have been scuffling a little bit lately, but they can score. They just haven't really pitched. So I think we could see some runs scored at Kauffman. And, we've seen Cal's home runs come in bunches all season long, and the fact that he homered on Sunday here at T-Mobile Park, I think, I think it definitely could happen over the next couple of days.
Oh, we mentioned thinking 34 was one of Alex's passwords. Someone said, I think we figured it out. It's password 1234.
Yeah.
It's been right in front of me the whole time.
The whole time.
All right. Well,
no.
Taking all of your information.
Let's not put that out there, but no, I can confirm that the password does not match the username. I'm not that dumb.
Well, we know what it's not.
Yes.
One elimination at a time.
There you go.
9 is the magic number. He is Alex Mayer, latest with Mariners stats and info. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you as always.
It's been a lot of coffee for me today.
You drank some water too, though.
I had some water. I don't know how I took this to trying to figure out Alex's password to hack into all of his stuff, but I think he's smart. He's a really smart guy.
He is.
Probably
it's going to be
it's
something so complicated.
It's probably a math problem you have to solve.
Mm-hmm.
He knows too much.
He does.
It's too much information in his brain, and I'm excited to see if that record is set by Polo today. That would be pretty cool, and for that matter, for Cal. All right, again, you're going to have this game, a series opener coming up against the Royals at 4:40 p.m. Wyman and Bob coming your way next on your home for the Mariners playoff push, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The one and only Mark Schlereth. Every Monday at 4 during the NFL season with Wyman and Bob.
They did it in a fairly dominant fashion out there in Pittsburgh. How surprising is that to you?
You saw some growth, right? You saw a little bit better offense, a little bit better, both combination of running the ball and tying your play action in together on that stuff. So those things to me were good.
Get every can't miss conversation on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Golf carts are fun and easy to drive. They can zip along up to 15 miles per hour in the sunshine, warm air, with your foot firmly on the dashboard. Now that's living. Pacific Power Batteries has some sweet 2021 Club Car Tempos for sale at about half the price of a brand new one. We offer a 2- or 4-seat model with capacity-rated batteries and a 30-day, no-hassle, money-back satisfaction guarantee. Have a look online at pacificpowerbatteries.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. Just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners get ready to kick off the final road trip of the regular season. They are in Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Royals. They send Logan Gilbert to the hill in game one of the three-game series. Michael Wacha going for the Kansas City Royals. You can catch it all starting at 3:30 with the pregame show, 4:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Keeping an eye on other games that'll be happening. The Astros game 2 with the Rangers. See how that one turns out. They took game 1. Also up on the docket, the Yankees on the road to take on the Twins. You've got the Red Sox playing host to the A's and the Tigers playing host to the Guardians.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It is Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there on a beautiful summer day. It's going to be like 88 degrees today. Man, unbelievable. I was actually sweating at a stoplight sitting on the motorcycle. I was like, what's going on here? So enjoy this while it's here. It's going to cool off dramatically tomorrow. I think it's like 72 or something.